What's up, chat? What's up, everybody? Little Fight Hype live from the high tech headquarters here in Las Vegas, Nevada, for Regis Prograis' first ever title defense at 140 pounds of the Glamour belt, the WBC title, of course, at 140 pounds. The belt he won from knocking out Jose Zepeda last year, and tonight is his first title defense against Danielito Zorrilla from Puerto Rico. The man is promoted by the great Miguel Cotto, former 4-division champ, Puerto Rico's only 4-division champ, the Hall of Famer. And right now his fighter is set to come to the ring, a huge underdog against Regis Prograis. Prograis, in his first multi-fight deal, fighting at home, defending the title at home with Matchroom, DAZN, Eddie Hearn. Little bit of a peculiar decision by Regis going this route because, you know, on the PBC side of things, a potential fight with Tank Davis, unifications with Subriel Matias, really intriguing title defenses against somebody even like Gary Antoine Russell. Him and Rolly Romero could have had a unification, as well as Matias on the PBC side of things. And then at Top Rank, you know, a potential unification against the winner of Tszyu and Taylor. Tszyu wound up winning that. You know, we don't know if where Devin Haney's going, if he's going to, you know, re-sign with Top Rank. We know Bill Haney had meetings with him, but so Prograis, without a lot of great dance partners on Matchroom DAZN, the best one I could think of off top is maybe Richardson Hitchens, but tonight it's Danielito Zorrilla, and yeah, Prograis a big favorite. We didn't go too crazy tonight, just started it with a little spur of the moment. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. What's up, Tufan Anaz from Australia, always supporting us all the way from Australia. What's up, brother? What's up, It's Jay? What's up, Bronco Kid? As always, Bronco Kid, always in the chat. What's up, Facts Over Feelings? Let me see my man, 3 Pumps, always in the chat. Fire in My Bones is always in the chat. Robert Offer says, you are boring, step it up. Robert, you know, it's a chill kind of night, man. It's Regis Prograis, Danielito Zorrilla. You know, we'll dial up the energy if Regis starts knocking shit around, is on his way to a knockout. We know he's a heavy-handed southpaw, but you know, if you think it's a little boring, Robert Offer, it is your Saturday night. You could choose to spend it another way, but we're just rocking with a round by round here. Might close the show with a little Undisputed. Might flip over to the Tszyu fight, see what's going on there too. Although it's a little trickier for us to do some of those Showtime fights. But let me load up that Tszyu fight on the side and let's see where we're at in the DAZN broadcast. All right, tail of the tape for Regis Prograis, 34-year-old champion. Danielito Zorrilla, an inch taller, 3 inches of reach for Danielito Zorrilla, 17-1, 13 knockouts, 5 years younger than Regis Prograis. So Prograis at 28-1, 24 knockouts. Technically, you know, on paper, a little bit the smaller man tonight, but a big favorite, the bigger puncher. The thought to be the much better fighter, Zorrilla, whose only loss was to Arnold Barboza Jr., back on ESPN. So Charlie Lee said, keep up the great work, I appreciate that. Mark Andrews asked who's winning. Nothing just yet. Bronco Kid asked that I pour out some liquor for Pac yesterday. I didn't literally pour out some liquor, but of course I know the reference with the Johnny J instrumental in that song. Beautiful song by Pac on the Thug Life album. But yeah, shout out to Tupac, whose birthday was yesterday, would have been 52. Javier G, what's up, brother? Javier G wants my quick thoughts on Canelo versus Charlo. He says it's a bit of a cherry pick since Charlo hadn't fought in 2 years. I'll touch on that in just a second. What's up, Carl Brown? Thank you for the shout out. Reggie Ship, thank you, brother. GCG8, thank you, brother. Ace TV Boxing, shout out. Salute Javier G, always in the chat. Thank you, brother. Bronco Kid said Regis messed up by signing up to Matchroom. Another shout out to Fire in My Bones. Yeah, this isn't the one I wanted to see. Ramala Ali got slept. Did she, Dion W? I gotta check that out. RJ the Legend said, let's go, Regis, do your thing. Brooklyn, stand up. What's up, people? Brooklyn all day. Absolutely, sir. So, what channel is this on? Asked Skylar Jackson. This is on DAZN. It's the DAZN main event right now. Right now, Danielito Zorrilla is coming to the ring. Black trunks. A little bit. Oh, he's Dominican too. So, shout out to the Dominicanos out there. He got the Dominican flag as well as the Puerto Rican flag. So many, of our brothers, of our Boricua brothers are mixed with Dominican, as I have found out in this life, coming from New York and having a lot of people, a lot of friends that have been Dominican and Puerto Rican. And a lot of times they're mixed with both. So Danielito Zorrilla is like that. My man, True School Sports is like that. He's Puerto Rican, Dominican. David Benavidez got a little Dominican in him, but not Puerto Rican. He's Ecuadorian and Dominican to go with, of course, being Mexican, the Mexican monster. Shout out to the Mayweather Boxing channel, of course. Shout out to the Mayweather channel. That's got to be my man, Jody Khan, in the chat. What's up, Jody? Jody, you got to get my Crawford Spence prediction, brother, with Jeff. So shout out to Jeff and Jody, the Mayweather channel. And here comes Regis Prograis, Bruce Lee colors. Got the yellow and black. And coming to the ring like he means business. His son that looks just like him to his right with the WBC strap around him and Team Prograis behind him. And quickly want to get back to that question about Canelo and Charlo. It's a bad look for Canelo. I mean, look, it's a fight that I think all us boxing fans have been anticipating for 5 or 6 years. It's a fight I think most of us wanted to see at middleweight back around 2018, 2019, 2017. Charlo, except for the Derevianchenko win, hasn't really had a lot of momentum in his career since that beautiful right uppercut counter shot knockout against J-Rock Williams. Charlo moved up to middleweight, became a middleweight champion. J-Rock went on to become lineal and unified in that same weight class. But outside of Derevianchenko, he hasn't really done shit as of late. And, I mean, we've seen Derevianchenko. A lot of people thought he beat Jaime Munguia. So Charlo, I think, beat Derevianchenko in a more decisive manner than Golovkin or Daniel Jacobs or a lot of guys. So it's just an ugly look in that if Canelo was going to fight at 168, and it was going to be against someone not named David Benavidez, it was going to be considered a duck, because that's clearly the fight at 68. The man's the number one super middleweight. That's the best fight, maybe the best fight to be made in boxing. Top three, along with Spence Crawford, Fulton Inoue, Benavidez, Canelo. And Canelo, instead of fighting Benavidez, instead of having a rematch with Bivol, he goes ahead and kind of, you could use the term cherry pick. He wants to cherry pick Charlo after 2 years of inactivity, pick Charlo while he's weak, bring him up to a weight class that he's never fought at before at 168. And so, it's not so much that it warrants criticism, it's that it warrants context. And when you put things in proper context, it's obvious that Canelo's ducking the toughest fight in the weight class in Benavidez, and he's opting to face Charlo coming off 2 years. Still a fight that I'm anticipating, that I think everyone will tune into with intrigue, because we've wanted to see these two in the ring for, over half a decade now, Canelo and Charlo. And Charlo, a lot of people's early thoughts is that Canelo can stop Charlo, but Canelo might be transitioning into the stage of his career where he doesn't really get a lot of stoppages, kind of like Manny Pacquiao after he knocked out Cotto. After that peak, Pacquiao went all the way until the Lucas Matisse fight before he ever got a knockout again, and he always hurt his opponents. He always beat them up. He was still Pacquiao, but the knockouts just stopped coming. And after watching that John Ryder fight where Canelo just couldn't quite finish him, I don't know if he's getting stoppages like that anymore. And then Charlo might be a guy who, even though he's been so inactive and he's never fought at 68, he might rise to the occasion because he's a big-time athlete. He's a competitor, and he's a big-time athlete. He's very athletic. He's still 6 feet tall, still got a powerful jab, still got a powerful right hand. When he's on and firing on all cylinders, he checks a lot of boxes. Got a jab, got power in the right hand, can counter, can box, can move a little bit, and he brings a lot to the table in that 6 foot tall package, at 160 coming up to 68. So it's still an intriguing fight. There's a chance that Charlo's the more rested fighter, and the fighter with less wear and tear on his body and less mileage on his odometer, with Canelo being a little older. Or no, they're the same age at about 33, 32 years old, but with Canelo having twice as many fights, injuries, he's going to be a big favorite, but I don't count Jermall Charlo out. And he might be able to rise to the occasion, and with all his talent, athletic talent, and still size at 6 feet, he might be able to put it all together and give Canelo a much tougher fight than expected. I don't count Charlo out, actually. Because when he's right, when Charlo's right, he's very good. So now here comes Regis Prograis is in the ring. I was blabbing about the Canelo Charlo fight while Prograis was making his way to the ring. Regis is in the ring. Had a great energy coming to the ring. Like he's ready to get a brutal knockout in his first title defense at home. He is 5 years the older guy. And Regis Prograis, one thing I like about Regis Prograis, heavy hands, punches hard, exciting style, and a unique style with that southpaw style. Keeps his hand down a lot and slips punches in a very unique way that's kind of, I don't know, it has a 1950s vibe to it. The way he slips punches and the way he slips and bangs and welcomes exchanges. And just the kind of old school rhythm he has in the ring. Like he's not afraid to get hit. Not afraid to exchange, but he's not giving away free shots either. Part of why he gets hit is because he's looking to exchange and looking to score knockouts and not just box. But he definitely does have boxing skills. They showed in that Jose Zepeda fight where he was sharpshooting Jose Zepeda. He was just a sharper boxer, more rangy, better defense, better with his jab. And the Jose Zepeda fight was an excellent performance that got him this belt, where he really showed the best of Regis Prograis. So I did notice though in that Zepeda fight that his hand speed it is a little slower than the top guys like a Devin Haney who would be moving up to 40. Than Teofimo I think is a little quicker than him. So, but he's heavy-handed and still has some athleticism himself. Let's see. Fire in My Bones says, I'm just not impressed with Regis. I think people are enamored with his personality and New Orleans accent. Him, Taylor, Catterall, Ramirez, all the so-called top guys at 140 are B fighters to me. I think there might be some truth to what you're saying, Fire in My Bones, and that's why I always favored the thoroughbreds, the young guns from 35. I always, in terms of Devin, Tszyu, Tank, I always favored them against these guys at 140, the veterans at 140, the B-level guys, as you call them. I'm not calling them that, but Fire in My Bones, there's some. I think I'd have to agree with some of what you're saying because I've always favored some of those thoroughbreds from 35 that always had that A-level pedigree and talent. I favored them to beat some of these veterans at 40, like you mentioned, Catterall, Ramirez, Prograis. Prograis is dangerous though, because he does have some slickness to him, and he is a banger. He could punch hard with both hands. But I am with you that I think a lot of people after the Lomachenko fight were saying Prograis would eat Devin Haney up. I disagree. I would favor Haney if he moved up to 140 and took that fight. But so we'll see. Raphael32 says, "Are you gonna?" What's up, Raphael32? Good to see you, brother. Are you going to be calling the Tszyu fight? We'll tune into it and talk. It's a little trickier with some of the networks, that aren't as big. We'll see. But I will be checking in on the fight. Calling it round by round is a little trickier, but I'll be checking in on the Tszyu fight for sure. Bronco Kid said the Josh Taylor fight looks bad for Regis after T.O.B. Taylor. It does, but I do think Regis lost to a little bit better version of Josh Taylor than T.O. fought. T.O. fought a Josh Taylor over the hill in terms of he peaked. He had his peak and lost a little bit of his edge, getting that money, getting undisputed, kept making 140 probably longer than his body really wanted to. Got into his 30s, whereas Regis fought him at his peak at 28, 27. But here we go. Round one, Regis Prograis against Danielito Zorrilla. And Regis right away, starting with his upper body movement and his jab. A lot of upper body movement from Regis to start. Falling short with the jab to start. But Regis, with that unique upper body movement he loves to start his fights with. Double jab from Regis, stepping over to his right, trying to get the angle against the orthodox Danielito Zorrilla, who is keeping it long right now. Keeping Regis on the outside. Hasn't thrown any punches, but he is making Regis fall short with that jab. And first, a sharp, straight right hand from Danielito Zorrilla falls short on Regis' chest, but good distance control by Zorrilla there. Zorrilla falling short with his own jab. Regis falling short with the jab, but is on the front foot. Regis with that upper body movement, right to left with the upper body movement, falls short with the jab, trying to contend with some of the range of Zorrilla early on, who's keeping Prograis, on the outside with a little bit longer reach, but neither guy landing anything just yet. Prograis a little busier with that lead hand, jabbing, double jabbing, trying to set up his distance, and using a lot of head movement coming in as Regis Prograis. Prograis short with that southpaw jab again. Bill Haney is ringside, I see. So the undisputed lightweight champ, his dad, taking a look at all comers. He was at Tszyu and Taylor last week. He's at Regis Prograis this week, looking at all the top 140-pounders for his son. Now Prograis lands a jab, but Zorrilla drops a straight right hand to the body. Prograis trying to cuff him up top with a right hook inside, but Zorrilla breaking back out in distance. A little over a minute in this round. Prograis landing, getting his jab parried twice. Prograis getting his jab parried, and then a straight right hand falls short for Zorrilla, but he touches Prograis in the clinch with a little bit of a free hand with his left hook. Minute left in the first round. Prograis getting touched with two straight right hands down the pipe by Zorrilla, who is keeping that distance well, making Prograis fall short with his jab, and he gets in the straight right hand there. Prograis moving his head. Now he's being frozen on the outside. Straight left hand on the outside by Prograis. Just lands a little bit short, but good straight left hand there by Prograis. Prograis moving his head, trying to get hit off to the right. Trying to get a little bit to his right, to the outside of the lead foot of the orthodox Zorrilla. 30 seconds left in this round. Prograis continuing to fall short with that jab. Moving his head, coming forward. And, they exchange, and they both land at the same time. Down goes Regis Prograis, but the referee doesn't call it a knockdown. But they both exchanged. Prograis landed a straight left hand. Zorrilla landed a straight right hand, and then another straight right hand, and down went Prograis, but he held on, and the referee did not call that a knockdown. Now Prograis landing a looping left hand around. Another looping straight left hand lands by Prograis that shakes up Zorrilla's legs. And that'll do it for round one. I was tempted to score that round for Danielito Zorrilla, but Prograis didn't get the knockdown called on him, and then he buckles the legs of Zorrilla at the bell with two left hands. I got to give that round to Prograis because no knockdown called, and then he buckled Zorrilla at the bell there. But Zorrilla did a decent job of staying patient and making Prograis with the 3-inch shorter arms fall short with that southpaw jab, and then he sniped him with a couple of straight right hands at long range. Prograis did land his left hand in that exchange, but could have easily been called a knockdown. Let's take a look at the replay here. Prograis coming in with his hands down, eats a straight right hand, and goes down and clinches Zorrilla. Bad call by the referee. A missed knockdown in round one in New Orleans. Danielito Zorrilla getting robbed of a knockdown in round one off a straight right hand. But here we go in round two. And without the knockdown call, maybe a Prograis round. Here we go in round two. Zorrilla be wise to keep his distance like he did in round one to set up that straight right hand. Prograis trying to cut distance with that head movement. Moving his upper body right to left to right, and falling short with his jab. Hasn't gotten that jab to connect just yet. Prograis with that upper body movement, trying to step over to his right continuously, but falling short with the jab. The jab either getting parried or falling short. 2 or 3 more jabs for Prograis fall short in the center of the ring. Zorrilla touches, lands his own jab a little bit there. Does Zorrilla. Sticks out, extends that left hand, those longer arms. Prograis feinting the jab 2 or 3 times, trying to cut distance there. Zorrilla not confident there, just touching with the straight right hand, and Prograis bobs his head away out of the way of that. Prograis falling short with the jab. A minute into the second round, and Prograis is just short with the jab, trying to cut distance right now with a little bit of a timid Danielito Zorrilla. Zorrilla trying to measure and set up that straight right hand, as you could tell, down the pipe against the southpaw. Prograis dipping down, jabs to the body, jabs to the head, but falling short. Zorrilla lets his own jab go. Zorrilla getting backed up, a little timid, a little gun-shy, but might be wise to be this cautious against a puncher like Prograis and continue to make him fall short and walk him into something eventually. Zorrilla popping his jab, Prograis falling short with 2 or 3 jabs, doubling up that jab, but falling short, but stalking his prey, stalking Zorrilla. Little over a minute left in the second. No punches really landed this round. Just Prograis on the front foot, jabbing, double jabbing, falling short, but staying aggressive. Minute left in the second. Prograis mixing up his head movement again, falls short with the jab. Straight right hand touches Prograis by Danielito Zorrilla down the pipe, but just a touch right hand, not a lot of conviction on that one. Prograis continuing to step forward in the center of the ring. Now Danielito extends his left hand, measuring. Prograis jabs over the top of that extended hand. Straight right hand to the body lands for Danielito Zorrilla, but then he backs out of the exchange right away. 30 seconds left in this round. Prograis staying on the front foot, stalking, falling short this round with his jab. Danielito pops his jab out there. Prograis moves his head out of the way, falls short with his jab, falls short with it again. Prograis staying on that front foot, 20 seconds left, falls short with the jab. Danielito landing his jab and pulling straight back from the straight left hand by Regis Prograis. Prograis missing with a straight left hand over the top, 10 seconds left. Prograis short with a jab. Straight right hand misses for Danielito, but in the clinch, he lands a little left hook on the inside, and then very nervous energy from Zorrilla in that clinch, but he gets out of there, landing a little left hook, and the clean, I don't know if Zorrilla, I don't know if Danielito Zorrilla can expect to win rounds like this in another fighter's hometown as a challenger. He was very timid that round, played keep away, but Prograis literally landed nothing that round, fell short with about 40 jabs, fell well short with his southpaw jab, shorter arms, and Zorrilla did touch him with a straight right hand to the body, and then touched him after missing a straight right hand, touched him with a left hook, and then kind of held on for dear life in the clinch with a lot of nervous energy. But if you're counting clean punches landed, that was Zorrilla in the second round. But I don't know if the judges in New Orleans are going to give him a round like that, backing away, throwing a very low volume of punches, and the punches he did land, he didn't really step into with the conviction. So getting backed up a majority of that round in the other guy's hometown, I don't know if Zorrilla gets the round, but on my card, one round apiece. So here we go in the third. Prograis getting his jab parry to start. Double jab falling short for Prograis. Jab falling short again. Another jab falls short for Prograis. Prograis dipping down. Straight left hand gets blocked by Zorrilla through the center for Prograis. Prograis with a double jab backing him up. Prograis staying on the front foot, moving his head side to side a lot, falling short with his jabs, but using those jabs so that he's not coming in naked with his hands low, meaning he's not just walking straight in. He's coming in behind his jab. So even though it's not landing tonight, Regis is still smart to jab and to double jab his way in against the longer arms of Zorrilla. Zorrilla stepping over to his right, making Regis just fall so short with his jab tonight. And Regis, weary, not just to step straight in because of that knockdown that should have been called in round one. That got Regis. Now straight left hand on a 1-2 drops Danielito Zorrilla. Beautiful 1-2 by Regis. He stepped into the jab and brought the straight left hand. Good hand speed there by Regis Prograis. Good movement of speed and hand in one motion there on the 1-2 by Regis. He stepped into it at the perfect time and didn't run into a straight right hand. Good knockdown by Prograis in round three here. Zorrilla is up and keeping away. Zorrilla is bouncing to his left, bouncing to his right now, and Prograis is stalking him. That was a beautiful 1-2 by Prograis. Zorrilla in the corner, two hard body shots by Prograis. He misses wild over the top with his left hand, goes with a right hook. Prograis getting countered a little bit in between his combinations, but still making his power and his presence felt with those combinations with Zorrilla along the ropes. Now Zorrilla gets it back into the center of the ring. Zorrilla did counter a couple times there, but Prograis with a very nice combination that time with Zorrilla along the ropes. Prograis breathing a little hard after that barrage. Minute left in the third. Prograis, the sweeping left hand, gets underneath the elbow to the body. Backing Zorrilla along the ropes. Zorrilla moving over to his right, Prograis cutting the ring off fairly well here. Pinning Zorrilla on the ropes and in the corners, but Prograis not opening up as much since that big barrage about 30-40 seconds ago. Prograis falling short with two jabs. Zorrilla trying to counter with his back along the ropes. Straight right hand just off the mark for Zorrilla. Prograis getting his chin off the line and making it hit his right shoulder there and then falling into the clinch. Now back in the center of the ring, Prograis Still falling short with that double jab, but I was saying just before he got the knockdown, it's good that he kept jabbing because he wasn't coming in naked, and that's what set up that straight left hand on that 1-2. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left, and that will do it for round number 3. A very timid Danielito Zorrilla gets dropped in round 3. Beautiful 1-2 there by Regis Prograis, showing at 34 years old he's still got some athleticism, some speed, and explosiveness on that 1-2. Good stuff by Prograis there. Let's take a look at the replay. Prograis stepping over to his left, moving his head to his right, jabs to the chest, and then throws a brick of a straight left hand and lands it right on the money and knocks Zorrilla back, who did the Tim Bradley in the third Pacquiao fight where they get knocked down and their legs knocked straight up into the air. That's what happened to Zorrilla. But Prograis, with a beautiful job, stepping over to his left and then shifting his upper body to the right and jabbing out of that move and then throwing the straight left hand like a brick. Like, oh man, just like a brick through a window. And that was a nice 1-2 there by Regis Prograis. Myron Sports Talk TV said Devin Haney would beat Regis. I do agree, but it'd be a tough fight. You know, Regis is very dangerous, as he showed on that 1-2 right there down the pipe. Round 4 now. Prograis in control of the fight after that knockdown. I got it. Chris Mannix has got it even. He gave Zorrilla the first round. I thought that might have went to Prograis. I gave the second to Zorrilla. So Chris Mannix, the zone, has this fight even. I have it 29-27 for Prograis. 30 seconds into this round, and Zorrilla continues to be very timid. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla through the center, and he's looking to clinch right after it, not looking to follow it up. But straight right hand did land a little bit there, not perfectly, but did get it in through the center there. Prograis back on the front foot, not too weary now of the power, falling short with his double jab, falling short with the jab again, but now Zorrilla knows that straight left hand can explode behind it at any moment. Prograis falling short with his jab 2 or 3 times, getting it parried, getting it batted down, but shifting his upper body left and right, right to left. Lots of good upper body movement by Prograis here. Prograis falling short with that jab, but staying right on top and keeping his left hand in good position to try to block any oncoming straight right hand counters by Zorrilla. Halfway through the 4th. Prograis waiting for the right moment to launch that left hand again. Behind his jab. Prograis finally landed that jab and not falling short because Zorrilla took a step forward at the wrong time to try to set something up himself. Zorrilla pawing with his lead left hand. Prograis batting it down. Straight right hand lands by Zorrilla to the body, and Prograis trying to counter over the top with a sweeping left hand. Now they exchange in the center of the ring. Neither guy getting hit there. Prograis just off the mark with a right hook, and then Zorrilla clinching for dear life. Zorrilla very nervous in these clinches, not comfortable in the ring, and that's obvious. Prograis the much more comfortable fighter. Minute left in the 4th. Zorrilla, straight right hand counter. He landed it that time. That's the shot he's looking for. Prograis fell short with the jab and ate that straight right hand counter by Zorrilla. 45 seconds left here. Prograis falling short with the jab, moving his head, moves it off to the right, dips down, falls short with the jab, stepping, trying to get to the outside of the lead foot. Now he steps over to his left. Now he fences with that lead hand, takes a half step back for the first time in the fight, does Prograis. Straight right hand for Zorrilla falls short. Prograis mixing it up, back on the front foot. Now straight right hand touches Prograis, and he almost gets countered by a left hook as he reaches down for a straight left hand to the body. 10 seconds left. Zorrilla has touched Prograis this round. They exchange at the bell. Zorrilla getting a little bit... No, Prograis with a wild overhand right in the clinch. Zorrilla was getting a little bit of the better of that skirmish there at the bell in the clinch, but Prograis finishing with a right hand over the top in that clinch. Awkward shot that Zorrilla didn't see. And that ends it for round 4. I just don't know if the judges are going to give Zorrilla, who's not punching confidently even when he lands in Regis' hometown, I don't know if they give him that round. That was a close 4th round that you could have scored for Zorrilla. Close round, but Regis is obviously the more comfortable fighter, more the boss in there. Someone said Teddy Atlas lost love child. Thank you so much. Dank said you are biased. Who am I biased for? Curious who you think I'm calling this bias for. Hector Alvarado, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So that was a close fourth round. I'll give Zorrilla the benefit of the doubt that New Orleans probably won't give him because he did touch Regis more than Regis touched him, and that's the name of the game. So 38-37 Prograis on my card, but I'm not mad at all if you got it 39-36 Prograis. So here we are in the fifth. Zorrilla, again, remaining very, very timid. He's got to step into some of those straight right hands. He should have got a knockdown in round one off that straight right hand. Prograis coming forward, missing a straight left hand, missing his jab, falling short. Really outside of that left hand knockdown for Prograis in a combination that he followed it up with, he's been very inaccurate so far against a taller guy playing keep away in Danielito Zorrilla. Prograis staying on his front foot in this first minute of round 5, falling short with that jab a lot. Zorrilla finally letting his own jab go, and Regis catching it on his right glove. Regis moving his head around right to left, and as Bill Haney's watching ringside, you got to be thinking to himself, he's probably thinking to himself, man, if this guy's having this much of a problem with the feet and with the jab and with the length of Zorrilla, what's he going to do with my son? A little over a minute into this fifth, straight right hand touching Prograis, who's getting a little reddened around the face now and falling short with his punches in round 5. Zorrilla not active, but a little bit accurate here and there when he does let go of his straight right hand. Prograis staying on the front foot, not throwing a lot of punches here, being kept on the outside. Zorrilla just continues to move to his right. Prograis falling short with the jab. Prograis moving his head left to right, getting his head out of the way of the jab of Zorrilla and staying on the front foot. Zorrilla trying to snipe with a straight right hand down the pipe, but then he clinches Prograis, who dips his head out of the way, but then gets leaned on in that clinch. Now they separate. Nice jab there by Prograis. Steps over to the right and lands that jab, getting to the outside of the lead foot. Zorrilla stepping over to his right, tries a 1-2 down the pipe and misses, but then gets Prograis in that headlock after missing his 1-2. Ref breaks him up. Prograis moving his head, but eats a straight right hand to the body and then a straight right hand up top. Nice little double right hand there by Zorrilla. Zorrilla just off with a counter left hook as Prograis falling short with his jab there. 40 seconds left in this round. Prograis having a tough time with the length and the feet of Danielito Zorrilla. 30 seconds left. Prograis trying to step over to his right. Gets his head off the line away from the jab. That face is reddened up a little bit here. Prograis falling short with his jab. Falling short with his jab again. 20 seconds left. This could be a Zorrilla round. Prograis trying to punch in between Zorrilla's punches and counter his jab with a straight left hand, but it fell short and landed on the chest. Prograis countered with a little check left hook there by Zorrilla. Good reflexes by Prograis, but didn't get his head off the line perfectly in time, and part of that left hook caught him. Nice little skirmish there at the end by Danielito Zorrilla, punching in the clinch. And these are ugly rounds that Zorrilla is fighting timid in, that he's getting backed up in. He doesn't even look fully comfortable in the ring. But in rounds 4 or 5, he landed more than Prograis did, and you may have to score those rounds for him. I don't know if he'll get these rounds in New Orleans, but that 5th round, Zorrilla did touch Prograis a little bit, and the face of Prograis starting to redden a little bit from some of those shots on the outside, and he's falling short with his jab a lot. Outside of that knockdown in round number 3, it's been tough for Prograis tonight. Let's take a look at the replays here. Prograis falling short with his jab, and yeah, that check left hook landed right on the chin. That was good stuff. That's a Zorrilla round, folks. I got this fight even. I got it 47-47 after 5 rounds. Hey, Sean, every time I watch a Nick show, I cringe. What's up, Mr. Quake? Which Nick show? Do you mean like Nickelodeon? Or good to see you, though, Mr. Quake. Great to have you in the chat. I got it even right now. Straight left hand gets blocked by Danielito Zorrilla by Regis Prograis here to start round 6. Prograis picking his hands up a little bit. Falling short with the jab. Straight left hand lands for Prograis. Part of it landed on the chest, but he got through with it. Zorrilla backing off to his right. Prograis staying aggressive, staying on the front foot, falling short with the jab again. Prograis picking his hands up after that check left hook finished round 5. Picking that right hand up a little bit for the first time tonight. Now he drops it down. He'll mix it up. Prograis with a lot of head movement on the outside, but being kept out of punching range and getting sniped a little bit by a straight right hand that touches him on the outside by Zorrilla. Zorrilla stepping over to his right. Straight left hand falls short for Prograis. Zorrilla trying to counter with the left hook, but he covers up on the ropes and blocks Prograis' combination and touches him a little bit after that. Zorrilla with good defense along the ropes that time. Prograis falling short with the jab. Prograis in the center of the ring. Zorrilla getting a little comfortable, drops his lead hand. Now Zorrilla dropping his hands a little bit. That's a little dangerous, but maybe trying to establish some comfort there in the center of the ring. Zorrilla holding his ground in the center of the ring. Prograis moving his head left to right, taking little half steps back. Prograis cocking that left hand back, measuring with his right hand, picks his gloves back up. Now he moves his head around. Too far out in punching distance is Prograis right here. Zorrilla not willing to commit. Prograis not committing. Prograis short with the jab, short with another jab, moves his head around, closes distance a little bit, falls short with his jab, falls short with his jab again. Center of the ring, minute left in the 6th round. Prograis moving his head, falls short with his jab. Tries to cut the distance. Zorrilla, center of the ring, holding his ground now. Straight right hand, off the mark for Zorrilla, in a right hook. Falls short for Prograis in that exchange. Zorrilla moving over to his left, now moves back to his right. Prograis picking his hands up, staying on top of him. Now he drops that right hand and jabs to the chest, falls short. Falls short with another jab. Falls short with another jab. Falls short with another jab, does Prograis. 30 seconds left. Zorrilla not taking chances this round. And this is a close round where Zorrilla didn't really take too many chances, and Prograis did get him on the ropes at one moment in the round. Prograis, a little over 10 seconds. Zorrilla steps to his left, steps to his right. Not letting his hands go. Neither is Prograis in the center of the ring. Straight right hand just off the mark by Zorrilla. Almost walked Prograis into it when Prograis felt short with his jab. Straight right hand falls short for Zorrilla. And that's it at the belt. A close 6th round. I give the edge to Prograis because he had one. That was a very ugly round. But Prograis did have one moment where he got him on the ropes, touched him a little bit, got touched himself, but he initiated that exchange. Let his hands go a little bit more there. It's not a lot to choose from in round 6. Prograis, the more aggressive guy, did have one moment on the ropes. I gave that round to Prograis. 57-56. Regis Prograis after 6 rounds. Not the most exciting fight, but a more competitive fight than we saw. And Zorrilla, might want to take a few more chances here and there. He's doing a good job of frustrating the champion, of making him fall short, but he might want to pick it up with a couple of those straight right hands, a couple of those check left hooks a little bit here in the second half. We're about to enter the second half of this fight. But not a pretty fight. Not a pretty fight right now. All right, here we go in round 7. We're officially in the second half of this fight. Prograis picking his hands up, falls short with the jab, gets his straight left hand blocked, and he hasn't even let go of that straight left hand a whole lot. Hasn't felt comfortable with his distance tonight, letting it go outside of that knockdown. Prograis picking his hands up, coming forward. Prograis staying with the hands up high, coming forward, eats a jab there. After parrying 2 jabs, he eats that 3rd jab there by Danielito Zorrilla. Zorrilla trying a straight right hand, steps off to the left, and Chris Mannix has this fight 57-56 for Zorrilla. I have it 57-56 for Prograis. Prograis falling short with a right hook in the center of the ring. Zorrilla finally with some feints from Zorrilla, holding his ground, pause with his jab. Prograis backs him out of range with his own jab, but falls short. Prograis has to have some awful CompuBox numbers with the jab tonight. Something like 2 landed out of 200 or something. Prograis getting his jab batted down and parried straight left hand, but Zorrilla keeps his right hand up and shows the judges, hey, I blocked that straight left hand. Zorrilla stepping over to his right. Nothing's really landed this round except for a jab by Zorrilla. Zorrilla getting his straight right hand blocked by Prograis. Prograis coming forward with the gloves up, having problems with the length and the feet of Zorrilla. Halfway through the 7th round now. Zorrilla Stepping over to his right, back along the ropes. Straight right hand through the center, and then he clinches Prograis. Very ugly there. Not really landing that straight right hand, but he grabs Prograis for dear life right after falling short with it, and the referee warns him for some of that. Little over a minute left in this round. Prograis staying in that high guard. Being kept on the outside. Straight right hand blocked for Prograis by Zorrilla. Now he falls short with his straight left hand coming right after it. Oh, nice right hand lands for Zorrilla in the center of the ring. Left hook gets blocked, and Prograis shakes his head after blocking that left hook, but the right hand did get in for Zorrilla, and he pivoted off. He stepped off in the center of the ring after landing that right hand in the middle of the ring. Prograis, two straight right hands through the center for Zorrilla again. Not really sitting down with his feet, with his lower half on it, but touching Prograis with two straight right hands through the center. We got a competitive fight. 30 seconds left in the 7th. Zorrilla on his way to winning this round on my card. Prograis stepping over to his left. Still staying on his front foot, but falling short. Prograis keeping his gloves up this round. Tries to let go of a left hand, but can't feel comfortable letting it go. Now a sweeping left hand to the body lands hard by Prograis. And that's a real shot that he stepped into. Best punch of the round. Best punch of the round. Now Zorrilla gets his jab blocked. Falls short with a straight right hand, and that'll do it for round 7. I gotta be honest, Zorrilla might have won that 7th round, but I don't know if I really want to give him a round where he's only fighting a notch above survival. He's letting go of a straight right hand here and there, and then clinching right after it. He did land a couple of straight right hands that round, but the best punch of the round was really that sweeping left hand to the body in the last 10 seconds by Prograis. I feel a little icky, a little gross scoring around for Zorrilla like that. And so since it's my scorecard, I don't know if I will. I could see this either 60, that's a swing round, 67-65 Prograis, or 66-66 even on my card. That's what I got it right now. Let me type that down. 67-65 Prograis is probably what I got it. Yep. And on the replay, they show that sweeping left hand to the body. Yeah, I gave that round to Prograis. Give me that real professional, punch that he landed over the little bullshit Zorrilla's doing. I got Prograis up 67-65. Round 8 begins, and Prograis falling short with the jab. Zorrilla keeping him on the outside, moving to his left. And this fight's so boring that, we got people sometimes tuning out. We were over 1,000 people, then it went down to 700, now we're at 900. Chat, don't penalize us for the fight being dull. Please, stick around. Prograis getting Zorrilla in the corner, falling short with his jabs, letting Zorrilla escape out to his right. And Zorrilla, I highly doubt the judges are going to let Zorrilla win a fight like this in Prograis' hometown. Zorrilla getting his left hook blocked, but good left hook there by Zorrilla. Straight right hand gets blocked as well, but he'll need to sit down on more punches like that. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla. He touches Prograis with it. Didn't commit to it, but Prograis fell short with the jab and ate a straight right hand there. Minute into the 8th. Jab splitting the guard a little bit there for Zorrilla, but he gets backed up by the double jab of Prograis. Prograis missing wildly with a sweeping left hand to the body and then a winging right hook up top that both hit air. Zorrilla touching with his jab in the center of the ring. Hands up high by Zorrilla. Batting down the double jab of Prograis. Fakes like he's going to walk him into the straight right, but doesn't let it go. He lets it go that time, but gets countered in the exchange by a straight left hand right hook by Prograis, who got the better of that one. Halfway through the 8th. Prograis with hands up, shifting his upper body movement. Zorrilla trying to land a straight right hand, a left hook in the center of the ring and move out of the way, but Prograis with good head movement in the center of the ring there. Little over a minute left in this 8th round. Zorrilla stepping over to his right, makes Prograis fall short with the jab twice again. Stepping over to his right, near the ropes. Prograis staying on top of him. Prograis falling short with the jab. Falling short with the jab again. Less than a minute in the 8th now. Falling short with the jab. But Zorrilla got to do something here, man. A straight right hand for Zorrilla lands on the chest of Prograis. Prograis dipping his chin out of the line, so it didn't land on the chin. Got on the chest. 45 seconds left. Nice jab there by Zorrilla. Splits the high guard of Prograis. Prograis falling short with his jab in response 2 or 3 times. Little over 30 seconds left. Zorrilla straight right hand, but not really landing that through the center that time. Oh, nice little check left hook there by Zorrilla, but not stepping into it. He's so anxious to step off after throwing his punch that he's not stepping into the shot. His lower half isn't into the shot. Oh, they exchange, and Prograis getting a little buckled by a straight right hand as he launched his left hand over the top. They exchange there, but it looked a little bit like an awkward exchange there that also had Prograis off balance, and that'll do it for round 8. I got to get a look at the replay there to see if that right hand buckled Prograis there with 10 seconds left. Good luck to Danielito Zorrilla winning in a decision in another guy's hometown like that. And I mentioned that Prograis' face was reddened a little bit earlier. Not the case now. His face looks fine in the corner. No facial damage done by Zorrilla. Close 8th round, but God, Zorrilla is stinking this joint out, man. I don't know about giving him rounds like that. 77-74 Prograis. I got a couple of super chat I got to get to real quick. Mindag13, what's up, Mindag? I know we were going back and forth about Spence and Crawford a lot yesterday. Good to have you back. Mindag says, looks like Devin will be undisputed at 142. I agree. It looks like I got a pinned comment by Zach Cat. Says, oh my God, thank you. Finally a legit boxing commentator. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, Devin licking his chops indeed. We're over 1,000 people here. Prograis continuing to fall short with the jab. Straight right hand touches Prograis through the center by Zorrilla. Just touching him, though. Zorrilla, again, sometimes is so anxious to pivot off after landing a shot. He's not getting his weight into his punches. And so, left hand lands over the top by Prograis, but Zorrilla with a get-off-me punch left hook. Not getting his weight into it, but a get-off-me punch with that left hook in response off the ropes. Prograis had part of that left hand block, but it still had an effect on Zorrilla, who is very, very weary, damn near frightened of the power of Regis Prograis. Prograis falling short with the jab, but moving his head constantly on the outside and getting his head off the line to some of those straight right hand counters. Zorrilla blocking a left hand, but moving for dear life here in the 9th. 2 minutes left in this 9th. Zorrilla continued to just look completely uncomfortable in this fight and playing spoiler and stinker very well. This is what you call spoiling a guy. This is what you call spoiling a guy in his hometown title defense. You're not going to win a fucking fight like this, but you damn sure going to ruin his night. You're going to ruin his homecoming. Straight left hand lands on the chest for Prograis there. A little right uppercut. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla there, and then he ties up right after. Nice straight right hand by Zorrilla. Set it up off a right uppercut that Prograis partially blocked, partially got through, and then a straight right hand, and then he clinched. Halfway through this 9th round. Zorrilla in business after that straight right hand. Could win this round. If he steps up, nice jab lands by Zorrilla from his hip, up jab, and then he steps straight back using that long range. Prograis flailing and falling short with an ugly straight left hand. Zorrilla making him look bad there. Minute left in this 9th, and Zorrilla might be on his way to winning a round. Zorrilla backing away to his right, making Prograis fall short with the jab. And again, Zorrilla's going to have to take some chances here, man. He's going to have to take some chances. He's landed some good shots this round. Keep it up. Now Zorrilla takes some chances right as I say that. Steps in, and this guy is, Prograis goes to his body as Zorrilla steps in with a 1-2-1-2. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla, and then a little left hook on the inside lands for Zorrilla. Prograis landing to the body, but throwing sloppily up top, and Zorrilla doing a lot of talking to the ref, complaining, but winning this 9th round. Bangs his gloves together. Finally showing some fight there as Danielito Zorrilla, as he was complaining to the referee about some low blows that were borderline, that were to the body, and it woke him up a little bit, made him let his hands go, and finally exchange with Prograis. 10 seconds left in the 9th, and Zorrilla has won this round on my card. And depending on how I scored one of those swing rounds, this could actually be potentially an even fight, but after this round, I have it 86-84. Yeah, I have it 86-84 for Regis Prograis. That's my card after 9 rounds. 86-84. If you scored one of those rounds the other way, I could see it 85-85. I got Prograis ahead. I understand he's looked bad tonight, but I can't reward some of these rounds to Zorrilla. And I doubt the judges have awarded him. This guy's fighting very much a fight where he's going to fall short. like Regis has fallen short with his jab all night, and then he's going to complain that he got robbed. People said that Erislandy Lara complained too much after fighting a little too defensive down the stretch. Erislandy Lara against Canelo fought much more offensively than Danielito Zorrilla is fighting against Prograis tonight. This fight, kind of an uglier version of that, with Prograis being Canelo and Zorrilla being Lara. Kind of an ugly, lower-level version of that. But here we go with... but I got Prograis up 86-84. Here we are in the 10th round. Close fight. Prograis stepping over to his right. Falling short with his jab. Falling short with his jab again. Falling short with the double jab. I'm starting to have a lot of fun calling that. Prograis stepping over to his right. Falls short with his jab. Chris Mannix has this fight even at 85-85. I have Prograis up 86-84. Partly out of disgust for how Zorrilla fights in some of these rounds. Forgive me. Prograis falling short with his double jab again. Straight right hand by Zorrilla trying to counter Prograis, but Prograis with that constant upper body movement gets his head off the line from that straight right hand counter. Here they are in the center of the ring. Prograis trying to mix things up, pick his right hand up, fight in the high guard, sometimes fight with the right hand low, most of the times with the right hand low. Falls so short with the 1-2 just now. Very short 1-2. Nice little jab lands there for Zorrilla on the outside as Prograis continues to fall short on the outside. But Zorrilla's got to do more than that in this guy's hometown. Falling short with the jab. Zorrilla stepping over to his right. Straight right hand for Zorrilla, but Prograis with good reflexes gets his head just off the line at the last second. Straight right hand to the body lands for Zorrilla. Prograis getting his jab blocked 2-3 times by the lead hand. Oh, Zorrilla faking like he's going to walk him into a big uppercut on the outside, but didn't let it go. Didn't pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, brother. Halfway through the 10th. Prograis, straight right hand falling short for Zorrilla. He could win this round. He's touched Prograis with 1 or 2 shots here, literally 1 or 2. Straight right hand falls short for Zorrilla. Good head movement by Prograis, but then good head movement by Zorrilla. Makes him miss the straight left-handed response. Little bit of a sweeping right uppercut to the body lands for Zorrilla that he walked Prograis into that time. And I think Prograis felt it a little bit because he kept his feet planted for a minute and didn't come forward after that. Now Prograis back on the front foot. But with the volume off, you can catch some of those shots. And that was a nice little sweeping right hand to the body. Straight right hand to the body by Zorrilla lands. And Zorrilla is ahead in this round right now after those 2 right hands to the body. 40 seconds left in the round. I think Prograis felt those right hands to the body a little bit. He's keeping... I could tell by how he's holding those elbows that he felt those 2 right hands to the body a little bit. Prograis not fighting on... Oh, down goes Prograis. It's called a slip, but that could have been off the jab by Zorrilla. That's 2 times. Prograis gets a little fortunate there. 20 seconds left, and this is a Zorrilla round. Zorrilla smiling at him now, and Prograis shaking his head. Prograis breathing a little heavy here. Falling short with 2 or 3 jabs. Prograis has to set a record for missed jabs right now, or all-time lowest connect percentage with a jab. Zorrilla stinking the place out, but won this 10th round. And that's it for round 10. I gave that round to Zorrilla. We got some drama, folks, in the last 2 rounds because with that, I have this fight 95-94 Regis Prograis, but it could be 95-94 Danielito Zorrilla. 95-94. Here we go. Prograis only up a point with 2 rounds left on my card, and it could be the other way around. Chat, we got over 1,200 people in the chat. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the round by round. And it's officially a little bit of nervous time for Regis. Went down on a jab there, a little off balance, but if we're in Puerto Rico, he might have been knocked down twice tonight. I see a lot of cream in the chat, a lot of shout outs to the Wu-Tang Clan. Cash rules everything around me, of course. SC saying Zattel killing the commentary. I appreciate it, brother. Big Mac says Zorrilla is winning for sure. Some people might have this fight for Zorrilla. I penalized him a little bit for being too timid, but some judges might not. So now here we go to start round 11. Prograis missing his straight left hand down the pipe. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla and then blocks the counter shot by Prograis. Now Prograis landing a straight left hand to the body, trying to stay on top of Zorrilla, but he has had problems with the length all night long and with the feet. Devin Haney seeing a lot of things he could take advantage of. Teofimo Lopez seeing a lot of things he could take advantage of. Ryan Garcia not really seeing things he could take advantage of because he doesn't have the same ability those two guys have. A little bit different. Here we go. Oh, straight right hand touches for Danielito Zorrilla through the center. Prograis trying to cut distance, but he's been touched by 2 straight right hands in the first minute of round 11. Prograis cutting distance, straight right hand touches him a little bit again, gets his chin off the line, but it grazed him. Prograis with a wild straight left hand misses it with Zorrilla near the ropes, and Zorrilla just easily gets out of the way of the ropes and out of the way of that left hand. Ooh, little left uppercut lands for Zorrilla on the outside. Steps back into the center of the ring. They exchange, little sweeping left hand over the top lands for Prograis, and a left hand through the center lands for Prograis. Zorrilla's legs reacted a little bit that time. Zorrilla clinching Prograis. Prograis needed a moment like that here in the 11th. Halfway through the 11th. Straight right hand, left hook by Zorrilla. Partially landing. Prograis with head movement, not letting it land right on the money. Now a little straight right hand lands for Zorrilla that touches Prograis. Close round right now. Prograis falling short with a 1-2. Breathing a little heavy in the 11th. Zorrilla still looking kind of fresh, if timid. Backing away. Minute left. Straight right hand misses for Zorrilla, but then he clinches Prograis right after that. Referee breaks him apart with 1 minute left in the 11th. Close round. Even though Zorrilla has landed a couple of straight right hands, that very defensive posture and not looking comfortable in the ring, and Prograis having one moment in the middle of the round, you don't know if Zorrilla is going to win a round like this. Zorrilla stepping over to his left makes Prograis fall short with the jab. Pause with his own jab in the center of the ring. Pause with 2 jabs. Backs up. 1-2, but eats a jab by Prograis as he didn't commit to those 1-2s. Straight left hand to the body, touching for Regis Prograis. Prograis falling short with the jab. Very close round right now. Very, very close, pivotal round. Would like to see someone punctuate it. Regis falling short with a right hook. Oh, so right hand misses, and then right into a clinch for Danielito Zorrilla. Not fighting with enough confidence and self-belief, I think, to take it from the champion this round. Very close round. Zorrilla did touch Prograis with a couple of straight right hands. Prograis had landed a left hand in the middle of the round. Landed some body shots. Very, very close 11th round. I don't know if Zorrilla's doing enough, man. He's just begging to do enough to lose. He's just begging to do enough to lose. I had that 95. I got it 105, 103 Prograis on my card. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to give this man this fight. Fighting like that. It's not that I'm penalizing him for boxing or being intelligent or being patient. I liked his patience early in the fight. But if he is holding on for dear life after every missed right hand. He's not sitting down on his punches. And so he's touching Prograis with some of these shots, but Prograis landed a left hand. He got outlanded in the 11th, did Prograis, so it's a close 11th round. I got it 105, 103 Prograis. I could see it 104, 104 even, no problem. Here we go. Nice right hook to the body by Prograis as he got his 1-2 blocked up top, but he finished with a right hook to the body. Nice to start round 12. Gets shoved to the canvas, though. Referee lets him back on his feet, and here we go in this final round. Fight could be on the table. And Chris Mannix has the same score I have, 105, 103 for Prograis. Prograis falling short with the straight left hand, falling short with the jab, but staying on top of Danielito Zorrilla. Zorrilla keeping away, backing away. Straight right hand lands a little bit there for Zorrilla. Prograis staying on top of him. The jab touching Prograis by Zorrilla. Zorrilla not committing to his punches. Straight left hand to the body by Prograis. Sitting down more on his shots. He's the better puncher. Prograis falling short with 2 jabs. Falling short with the jab again. This has been an ugly night for Regis Prograis. Misses his straight left hand. Misses another left hand. And falls into the clinch with Danielito Zorrilla. Less than 2 minutes left in the fight. They break the clinch. Nice counter body shot there by Danielito Zorrilla. Prograis winging a sweeping left hand. He got countered by a nice body shot there by Danielito Zorrilla with the right hand to the body. Halfway through this 12th. Zorrilla backed along the ropes, blocks the straight left hand, blocks the combination by Prograis, but doesn't respond with anything. Prograis backing Zorrilla into the ropes again with another combination. Zorrilla touching him with a straight right hand in between his punches. Oh, nice straight right hand to the body by Zorrilla. Gets his left hand blocked, gets his jab blocked, and Prograis backs him back away. But beautiful straight right hand sniper to the pit of the stomach of Prograis that time by Zorrilla. And more punches like that would have served him better in this fight. A minute left. Straight right hand lands for Zorrilla again, and Prograis falls into the clinch in the center of the ring. Now Zorrilla is winning this round after those two straight right hands. One to the body, one to the head. 50 seconds left in this fight. That knockdown might have been what is probably going to be the difference for Prograis. And Zorrilla was robbed of a knockdown in round one. Otherwise, this could be a draw. Zorrilla keeping away. He's winning this round, but he is still running for his dear life in these last 30 seconds. Acting like a guy who's got the fight won, and he ain't got it won. Prograis wild with a left hand, misses. Zorrilla misses his straight right hand counter. 15 seconds left. Prograis almost falling into the ropes after missing so wild. Ooh, sweeping left hand to the body, and then a right hook to the body by Prograis, and a hard jab lands up top. Good finish to the 12th round by Prograis with those body shots. Prograis getting countered a little bit with a straight right hand, but he gets his glove up to block it. And that's a close final round because Prograis finished hard to the body. Zorrilla with two straight right hands in the center. You know what? Zorrilla, I was going to score the 12th round for you. You landed a straight right hand to the body, straight right hand to the head, but then you played keep away, and Prograis was able to dig to that body in the last 10 seconds. Close fight. Close fight. I score it. And Chris Mannix finishes by scoring this fight 114-113 for Zorrilla, or for Prograis. I think it's either 114-113 or 115-112 Prograis. That's how I saw this fight. Prograis with some reddening around the right side of his face. Zorrilla made him look bad tonight. Zorrilla really played stinker tonight, and if he got that knockdown in round one, he might have actually won this fight. But without that knockdown in round one, and with that knockdown for Prograis in round three, I scored this fight very close for Prograis. I just couldn't give enough of those rounds for Zorrilla. He let too many rounds get away from him, fighting too timidly. Those rounds, they were on the table for him many a time. Here's that straight right hand landing down the pipe in round 12. Or no, that's back in round one. That should have been called a knockdown, but it wasn't. BT, you said, my man BT, the head of FightHype said Zorrilla got a better case than Loma. I disagree, brother, but it's still it's kind of funny though what you're saying. Some people might feel the way you do. You might have a point. I feel like Loma did better than Zorrilla did, but maybe not. He got hit a lot less than Loma did. So he landed less, but got hit a lot less. Close fights. I gave it to Regis Prograis. Latino Perspective said, nah, bro, Regis lost. Latino Perspective, just going. You're not showing a little bias for Boricua, are you, brother? I'm just asking. Worst fight of the year, says I'm. That missed knockdown is huge. Myron Sports Talk TV has 115-113 for Zorrilla. Zorrilla had that Shakur defense. Don't hate. No, man. Shakur gonna counter, man. He's gonna make you pay for missing. And Shakur could. You know this, BT. I know you're just trolling, but Shakur can make you miss. See the difference between a Floyd Mayweather or Shakur and what Zorrilla was doing. They can make you miss staying in front and taking little half steps to the left, half steps back, half steps to the right, catch and shoot. They're countering you to death. When they're making you miss and making you pay. Zorrilla seldom made him make him pay. He made him miss a lot, but didn't make him pay. Didn't trust his counters. Didn't stay in range after making the guy miss to then stay in range after making a miss and then land that counter. He'd make a miss and he'd be too far out of range to land the counter because he was fighting so timid. I know you know all this, but Zorrilla made him pay. Look at Regis' face. He did make him pay. He made him pay, but I don't think he made him pay enough to win the fight. But he did make him pay. He reddened up that face a little bit with some of them straight right hands. Countered him with a left hook a couple times too, but I don't think he did enough. Let's see what the scorecards are. Damn, I don't even got no audio. Hold on. Let me get to this. Here we go. David Diamante announcing the winner here. Let's hear what we got. And still champion, Regis Prograis. One card was 117, 110, and that's a bad card, but that's the judges penalizing Zorrilla for fighting like that as a challenger on the road. Zorrilla giving a hilarious look in the camera. But get out of here, bro. Nah, we don't want to. Nobody feels sorry for you. Zorrilla fought the perfect classic kind of I got robbed fight. He fought beautifully done by Zorrilla. That look on Zorrilla's face is hilarious. That's a meme. That's definitely a meme. But Regis deserved to win the fight. I didn't have it nearly that wide. 118, 109 Prograis, 117, 110 Prograis, and then a more sensible 114, 113 Prograis. BT, they were penalizing him for fighting like that. I think the fight was closer than those two cards, but the right man won. You're not going to win a fight like that. Now, if Zorrilla would have gotten that knockdown, I would have had this fight a draw, perhaps. But Prograis gets the knockdown. He's fighting at home and looked very beatable. To assess this against a Devin Haney, look, Zorrilla, with his length, with his feet, and with, at times with his jab, but not really his jab, just with his length and with his feet, and with his defensiveness, made Prograis look very bad. I've always favored Devin Haney to beat Regis Prograis. You guys in the chat that follow me, you know that. And I still favor him to beat Regis Prograis. Tough fight, relatively speaking, dangerous fight, but I picked Devin to beat him. I picked Teofimo to beat him as well. Those guys are younger. I think they'd be able to counter Regis Prograis in between his punches, but Regis is, remains a top 140 pounder. If I were to rank the 140 pounders, I would rank them as follows. I'll keep Devin out of it for now. I'll rank the 4 belt holders, and to me it goes. I know Teofimo just vacated, but let's pretend Teo, because he is going to fight again. He's not retired. Let's say Teo still had his WBO. Here's the top 4 out of the belt holders at 140. I'm going to surprise you guys a little bit. Number 1, Teofimo Lopez. Number 2, Regis Prograis. Number 3, Rolly Romero. Number 4, Subriel Matias. I know you guys in the chat are going to think I'm crazy. How the fuck could you have Romero over Matias? Look, calm down. Subriel Matias took a L to Ananian. And don't forget, Rolly Romero was doing well against Gervonta Davis. Some people thought he was winning that fight before he got knocked out by the left hand with Tank's back along the ropes. So remember that. Remember that Tank's an elite fighter, top 10 pound for pound, and that Rolly was holding his own with him, and then looked gun-shy after getting one punch knocked out by Tank. Looked gun-shy against Barroso. Got an ugly, pretty bad stoppage against Barroso. But Rolly is an explosive athlete. He's that's why, even though he started boxing late at 17, he's even competing on this level because of his gifts, his explosiveness and strength. And Subriel Matias has no defense. And Subriel Matias, against a big puncher like Rolly, look, someone's getting knocked out in that fight. But I think Rolly's a better athlete than Matias. And I think even though Matias has the higher knockout rate, and even though he's the natural 140-pounder, Matias gets knockouts by throwing a lot of arm punches, a lot of combinations, and accumulation. I think Rolly has more one-punch power than Matias, and I think he's a more explosive athlete than Matias, who really has no defense. So that's how I rank him. Now, if Devin Haney were to move up, I think him and Lopez is the best fight. That's a very competitive, close fight. I favor Haney over the field because that jab, that length, that defense, that ring IQ, and that youth at 24 that's getting better and better every fight. So let me get to a couple of super chats here before I miss them. Sorry about that. Let me get here. Champagne Mario says you can't beat a champ by running. Well, it's not just that. It's that he didn't let Arislandi Lara landed a lot more against Canelo than Zorrilla did against Prograis. If he fought a very defensive fight, a very timid fight, but he still could have won the fight if he would have took a few more chances with those straight right hands at times. especially that right hand to the body. He got Prograis' attention with a right hand to the body in round 10, 2 right hands to the body. And then in round 12, he sniped with a beautiful straight right hand to the body. Look, sometimes like Roy Jones in the first Tarver fight, when you don't trust yourself up top because the other guy's rangy, he's got good head movement, then you just keep taking the right hand to the body, right hand to the body. Zorrilla, a few more right hands, he could have walked out the champion, but basically a long-winded way of saying what you're saying. You can't beat the champ by running, especially not in his hometown, especially when you're not a name that sells any tickets and you're the B-side. And yeah, he didn't. Not surprised he didn't get any love on the scores from the New Orleans judges. But got another super chat I got to get to. Hold up. Tip Bayless. Oh shit, it's Tip Bayless. What's up, Tip Bayless? I've actually got to see Tip Bayless at the fights here in Vegas. Shout out to you, brother. Tip Bayless says, I hope the same fans that complained about the Haney fight have the same energy for this Prograis decision. Even Munguia got a gift last week, and Oscar Valdez weeks before that. Salute, Sean Z. Thank you, Tip Bayless. Yeah, Tip, it sounds like you think this is a controversial fight. I don't, because Zorrilla didn't do enough to really win this fight, and Prograis still landed the hardest shots of the night. He got the knockdown called. Some of them body shots took away some of the rounds that Zorrilla was about to win on my card, but then Prograis dug to the body. One of them was a sweeping left hand to the body in one of the middle rounds that swung the round back to Regis. Haney fight was very close, disputed. It's fair to say it's a disputed decision, but not a robbery. And Haney fought, extremely well in that fight. That was a really entertaining fight. That was one of the best high-speed chess matches I've seen in a long time. It even sounds like the rematch is on the table, perhaps. Bob's talking about offering a lot of money, as he should, for a rematch. But, we'll see. Oscar Valdez, that was a good fight with Adam Lopez. I thought he won that fight with Adam Lopez. And the Munguia, I still got to get back to the Munguia fight. I've been so busy. Been out, was at LA and New York City this week. Still mad, tired my back from sleeping on those planes. Those 16-hour flight delays. My back is killing me, but we're good. Let me see here. Let me see what's going on Showtime now. So Regis is celebrating his win. Weedy Gonzalez, thank you, brother. Bad takes tonight. Access media bias, I guess. What do you mean, Weedy? I'm not calling the fight for Regis Prograis to try to get access to Regis Prograis. I don't even interview him like that. I love you, Weedy. I'm not calling the fight for Regis to try to win favor with Regis Prograis. It's not like that. I love you, Weedy. I'm a little sad you would say that to me, brother. Come on now. I don't get a lot of everybody on FightHype interviews Regis Prograis except for me. My man Rainbow interviews Regis Prograis all the time. Rainbow Alexander here on FightHype. Hans Themistode interviews Regis. I don't talk to Regis that much. I just thought he won the fight, brother. I wasn't gonna give Zorrilla the fight that way. Wasn't gonna do it. So let me know what you think, Weedy. Or is it more? Oh! I think you might be referencing the Rolly take that you think I got Rolly ahead of I got Rolly ahead of Matias for media access. Nah, if I was trying to kiss Rolly's ass, I'd put him ahead of Regis or say him and Tszyu or something. I'm just being serious. Rolly is a explosive athlete. Matias has lost to Ananian. So it's not like just because he won the belt at 140 and he's been looking good doesn't mean he's some unbeatable guy. He gets hit a lot. Doesn't really have a defense, Matias. And even though he's a good puncher, he's not a one-punch puncher, and he throws a lot of arm punches and doesn't really worried about what's coming back. I think Rolly could punch in between his punches with some of his bombs with his superior one-punch power and hurt him at some point and win that fight. But, I don't know. Now I'm looking over at Showtime. Brian Custer's talking. And we'll see what's going on. Weedy Gonzalez says, you're an access media guy, Sean. I don't ever give you shit, Sean. You know what I mean. Look, I do know what you mean. I'm never going to be quite as brutally honest as guys that talk on YouTube that don't cover fights and don't have to see these people in person and speak to them. But I never lie, and I might hold back a little bit here and there, but I always tell you how I feel. I might sanitize it a little bit because I got to see this man one day. But in this fight on this card that I'm calling, nothing going on. Not holding back on anything. I thought Zorrilla stunk the place out, but was effective at times with his right hand. Should have let that right hand of the body go more. Regis didn't look good. He fell short with his jab all night long. And yeah, I think Rolly could beat Matias. I don't think that's crazy. So maybe he wouldn't. GDDD said, Sean, I agree with you a lot, but tonight you are way off. Regis definitely lost. Gerardo Morales says Regis lost. I get why you guys are saying that. I asked Canelo about Benavidez. Y'all should, yeah, Canelo ended a press conference on me. I've had fighters get mad at me because I'm going to ask that real shit that you guys want. But I keep it respectful, though, because they're men and I respect them, and I wouldn't get a chance to do anything if they didn't risk their bodies getting in there and fighting. So, I keep it respectful, but I know why you guys are thinking that Zorrilla got robbed. You're not penalizing him for his timidness, for his defensiveness. And I usually wouldn't either, but there's a threshold there, man. There's a threshold there. And if you're not being effective while you're doing it, if you're not constantly pop shotting with your backhand, you could say, okay, like Keith Thurman against Leonard Bundu, right? Keith Thurman against Leonard Bundu. After he drops Leonard Bundu in round 1, Keith Thurman moving way too much excessive movement, fighting way too timid and defensive, right? Like Zorrilla, right? But is still banking rounds. He's still pop-shotting. He's still pop-shotting enough that there ain't no way he's not winning the round. It's just he's fighting too defensive. He's stinking the joint out a little bit. He's being a little too timid. Who in the chat remembers Keith Thurman versus Leonard Bundu? Keith Thurman versus Leonard Bundu, that's the difference between Danielito Zorrilla versus Prograis. If Danielito Zorrilla, like Keith Thurman against Bundu, was popping him with a couple of pop shots, clear pop shots every round, just enough to where I could say, okay, this is dull, and I think this guy's fighting a little too defensively, but he's clearly winning the rounds. That wasn't the case tonight. This wasn't Keith Thurman, Leonard Bundu. This was a guy landing a couple of right hands here and there, but then eating some body shots, and then getting touched here and there, getting backed up on the ropes here and there, and letting rounds get away from him. That's what happened. And then he doesn't get the knockdown called. He gets the knockdown called against him. That's really the difference. Look, I didn't score this fight 117, 110, 118, 109. My final card was 115, 112 Prograis. Could have seen 114, 113 Prograis. So I didn't have this by any means a wipeout, but it was very clear to me that Zorrilla was letting this fight get away from him, and in fact he did. So there you go. Cry about it. Cry about it, chat. Commiserate with each other. Coda said, Sean, shut up, bro. Ill. Did Zorrilla move more than Karan versus Boots? No, Molly Mall. He didn't move that much. Thank you for the super chat. He didn't move that badly. Now, he wasn't Karan Shukajan, and that's why he won rounds. Karan Shukajan didn't win a fucking round against Jaron Ennis because he didn't. I gave Zorrilla credit for those right hands that were landing. That's why he won 4 or 5 rounds on my card. I had him in this fight. I had this fight even going into the 10th round. I had it 85-85 after 9. Zorrilla didn't do. I had it 86-84. I had it 86-84 Prograis. But so there you go. Thank you, brother. The real Bridge said good analysis, bro. Appreciate that. GDDD said Sean is way off tonight. Brimstone Helix says pass that pipe. I don't got the pipe. I got the weed pen, but I don't got the pipe. I can pass that. I can pass the pen. You sound corny, Sean. Real shit. Says Coda. Some more Coda. Just not a fan of this take at all. That's okay. It's a free country. You could disagree. You could disagree, but I know what I'm watching. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I don't even believe gotta beat the champion for the win. I was mentioning that context that he wasn't going to win a fight like that in New Orleans. And then I kept my card separate from that. That's why I didn't wind up with a 117, 109, 118, 109 card. I had a close fight. I didn't think the fight got away from him because Prograis is the champion. I just thought the fight got away from him. And in addition to knowing the context of you're not going to win a decision like that in the guy's hometown, fighting like that. You're just not. I've seen boxing for too long to know that. What's up, Charles N? The Ocampo fight is next. Do I think Devin can beat Prograis? I do, and I think Teofimo could beat him too. So don't get caught up a little bit. Zattel not corny. You're corny, bruh. It's okay to disagree. Let's see. Sean is dope, but Zorrilla won. Okay, respect, Lou Sassel. That's fine. Yeah, Gerard, I do think Devin could beat Prograis. So, what about Subriel? I would still favor Prograis over Subriel Matias too. Hey, Sean, are you calling the Tszyu fight? I don't know. It gets a little tricky with Showtime, man. They shut us down for that big Tank Ryan fight, but I don't know. I haven't talked to Showtime really since. For all I know, they could be like, hey, do your thing, just not for our big pay-per-view fights, you know. But I got it tuned in. I see Sam Goodman getting a big crowd pop in Australia. He's about to fight Regis Alim in the co-main event. I saw Stephen Fulton talk about how Regis Alim is on his dick today on Twitter, and I thought to myself, he's not on your dick. He wants to fight you. This is professional boxing, and he's in your weight class, and he's been your mandatory at various points in his career. He wants to fight you. Doesn't want to be on your dick. You know, that's that. And I like Stephen Fulton a lot. I think he might counterpunch and box his way to a big upset against Inoue and make himself undeniable on the pound-for-pound list. But my man Regis Alim, man, he's not on anyone's dick. He just wants a shot. So, but Alim is in round 1 down in Australia against Sam Goodman. And we'll chill and watch some of this fight. S1 Dub says, Sean, I saw it the same way as you. David Spatty Jr. said, Devin versus Prograis is not a given. Devin engages a lot more, and that opens him up for big left hands. Yeah, but Devin's getting better and better. Fighting a southpaw like Lomachenko, he'll have figured some of that out. He'll be stronger at 140 pounds than he was at 135. Now, you're right. He's going to engage more because he's actually going to look to win the fight, unlike Danielito Zorrilla, who looked to, fake win the fight. Oh, beautiful left hook to the body by Regis Alim in that exchange. Then a big left hook up top. Regis Alim letting that left hand go with bad intentions in round 1 against Sam Goodman. And yeah, Regis Alim, he's on his way to fighting for the IBF title against Tapales, who upset MJ, Murtajan Akhmadaliev. So finally, after chasing Stephen Fulton for a long time, he's going to go after the other belts after they got freed up from Akhmadaliev. And Regis Alim, this is a big stretch of fights for Regis Alim because we know Inoue is a belt grabber. Inoue loves belts. And Inoue's the favorite against Fulton. That's far from a given. He might get upset at home against Fulton. But we know that Inoue's the guy that when he gets to a weight class now, he's looking for all the belts. So for Regis Alim, who's had to fight on undercards, not make big money, he's a 122-pounder from America that no one's really checking for. But if Alim can just keep winning, win tonight, beat Tapales and get a belt, he could find himself getting mega millions in an undisputed fight against Inoue in 2024. So very important stretch right now for Alim to keep winning, get to that belt against Tapales, and then eventually he might be fighting Inoue for undisputed in Japan for a whole lot of money. Probably not undisputed against Fulton, because if Fulton beats Inoue, he's going to look to go up to 26, maybe rematch Figueroa, get that WBC strap that Figueroa got his hands on by beating Magsayo. Yeah, David Spotty, they are trading early. And beautiful left hooks with bad intentions by Regis Alim in these exchanges in round 1. Getting the better of it in round 1 is Regis Alim. Let me see. Someone said talk about... Let me see here. Someone said, talk about Canelo ducking Benavidez. It's official. He's ducking him. You know, I've been asking Canelo to fight Benavidez since he was fighting Callum Smith in the bubble. I remember that I started kind of pressing Canelo back in the bubble. Yeah, 2020. And but I have great respect for Canelo. He's an all-time great. He's a great fighter. It's been I know Terrence Crawford was saying after he beat Spence, it's the Crawford era. But until that happens and until we reassess it, if Crawford were to pull that off, it's been the Canelo era. But it's officially a duck. If he's fighting at 168 pounds and it's not against David Benavidez next, it's a duck. He's ducking Benavidez. And he is cherry-picking Charlo after 2 years of inactivity. But I don't count Charlo out because he's a big-time athlete. What I mean by that is, you know, he's very athletic at 6 feet tall. Now, even though he's an athlete, he's looked stiff at times in his career, like Matt Korobov. He hasn't always looked fluid like he did against Derevianchenko and J-Rock. His performances have dipped, have been a little inconsistent the last 5 years. But when he's right and firing on all cylinders, and I know that's a tall ask after 2 years of no fights and never fighting in this weight class at 68, but he might be one of these guys, and he's got less mileage on him. He has half the amount of professional fights as Canelo. He hasn't had injuries like Canelo. I know Canelo thinks he's picking him off at a good time, but Charlo might be a little fresh with half the professional fights Canelo has, and he may rise to the occasion. Might be one of these guys, a big-time professional athlete that rises to the occasion. And I don't think Canelo's going to knock Charlo out. I think that fight's going 12. I think Canelo is starting to show me a little bit of signs of Pacquiao after Pacquiao stopped getting knockouts. And Pacquiao kept winning and kept hurting guys, getting knockdowns. But John Ryder against Canelo looked a lot like Pacquiao's fights in the 2010s against guys like Chris Algieri, against guys like Brandon Rios, where he's hurting them, he's dropping them. I know he didn't drop Rios, but he's hurting them, he's dropping them. It's still looking like, man, but he's not getting them out of there. And I saw that against John Ryder. So I don't think Canelo stops Charlo. And I think that's a competitive fight because I think Charlo will be rusty, but he'll rise to the occasion. And even though he's moving up in weight, he's a big guy. He's 6 foot with a nice, powerful jab. I like that fight. That's a fight we really should have seen at middleweight for all the belts at middleweight a couple years ago. But better late than never on this one. Charlo's still undefeated. Still a big-time athlete. I like that fight. It's still a marquee fight. Canelo's ducking Benavidez, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not excited to tune into Canelo and Charlo. That's a fight we've been wanting for a long time. And it's not coming at the time we really wanted it, but I'll take it. XX Nate said Benavidez missed weight in 2020 for the 168 belt. Indeed he did. Indeed he did, and that's what opened the door for Canelo to become undisputed. But come on, you keep context and you keep track of things. Canelo never talked about being undisputed at 68 until Benavidez was stripped. And now that Benavidez is clearly far and beyond, it's clearly head and shoulders the number one contender in the division, Canelo's opting to fight a middleweight who hasn't fought in 2 years. So it's a duck. It is what it is. Doesn't mean Canelo ultimately won't face Benavidez. Maybe he fights Charlo as a part of a multi-fight deal with PBC, beats Charlo, and then fights Benavidez. Maybe he wants to see Benavidez weakened by Morrell or exploited by Morrell. That's a great fight. That's happening too soon. Canelo Charlo's a great fight that's happening a little too late, and Benavidez Morrell's a great fight that's happening a little too soon. But they're both still really good fights. I look forward to both of them. What about Devin versus Tszyu? I've always given the edge to Devin Haney because you saw the guys that used movement on the outside like Kambosos and Sandor Martin, and then long guys like Nakatani all give Lopez problems. And it's because Lopez at his best is a counterpuncher. That's why I knew Lopez would beat Josh Taylor. That's why I knew Lopez would beat Lomachenko. Because those guys essentially come to you. They come to you. And Tszyu loves that. He loves a guy that comes to him. Now, Kambosos gave him problems by being in and out, in and out, in and out. Kambosos was losing that whole first round, but was in and out, in and out, in and out, and then boom, dropped that right hand at the perfect time and dropped Tszyu. Sandor Martin checked him with that right hook knockdown on the outside, keeping away. Devin's going to keep that fight on the outside. And one thing Lomachenko was able to do with Devin was force exchanges. And that's what Tszyu would have to do. Two different types of styles, though. Lomachenko's a southpaw, and right away, by being a southpaw, that partly takes away the jab of the orthodox fighter, which is Devin's bread and butter, his jab. That's why Devin had to load up on right hands to the body. And Loma fights with his hands up high. He fights with his hands high, and as a southpaw, suffocating that jab, and hands up high, stepping over. Tszyu fights with his hands low in the center of the ring and prefers for you to come to him. When he has to cut distance, he doesn't pick his hands up, and that's why he gets caught on the outside with guys on the outside, because when he looks to cut distance like you have to against educated boxers on the outside, he doesn't pick the hands up, and he walks into shots. That's something he's got to work on with Devin Haney. Now, if he could take a page somehow out of Lomachenko and out of Lomachenko's book and find a way to force exchanges, because Loma with his pressure, by stepping in, high guard, forced Devin into exchanges. Although Devin was happy to exchange with him, he wanted to fight that kind of fight too. But Lomachenko's style, hands up, southpaw, suffocating the jab, coming forward. Tszyu is counterpuncher, likes for you to come him hands down, athletic type guy in the center of the ring. Two different styles. Styles can make fights. So I give the edge to Devin Haney, because Tszyu's never shown a comfort level cutting the ring off, going and getting a guy. And he'd have to force exchanges, because if he stays on the outside, Devin's just going to jab, and take what's there. And win a decision. So Tszyu would have to find a way to make it more of a fight. He'd have to force the exchanges, because once they're in an exchange, Tszyu's brilliant in exchanges. He could do his thing. He could find the openings in between shots. But Devin's going to not oblige those. He's going to make them earn every exchange, and he's going to have to make them earn that real estate past his jab. And that's going to be a tall order for Tszyu. It's not a southpaw. It's an orthodox guy. So we'll see. I give the edge to Haney. That's my early breakdown. I would love to see that fight. If Tszyu could make some adjustments and force some exchanges in that fight, he could hurt Devin and maybe win that fight. But based on what we've seen from them so far, I think Haney's the favorite against Tszyu. I really hope we see that fight soon at 140. Yeah, very heavy exchanges early in the fight down in Australia between Goodman and Alim. They are exchanging viciously. And the best punch right now is Alim's left hook, but Goodman is taking it well and kind of showing that Alim really isn't a puncher, because Goodman, again, he doesn't want to keep taking left hooks. He could find himself on his back if he keeps eating them. But Alim is putting everything, all full torque into those left hooks, and Goodman taking them relatively well, still fighting on the front foot here in round 3. Teddy is my father. Teddy Atlas is my father. I wish, man. Tszyu is better than before. Tszyu and Devin and Shakur are all getting better. Tank has been getting better. Tank's entered his prime now at 28. Tszyu, Shakur, and Devin still entering their prime. Tank's in his prime. But all three of them are getting better. Tszyu, Devin, and Shakur, because all three are athletic, creative fighters with room to grow. Their ceilings haven't been met yet. So that's why it's been fun to watch the careers of the four kings. Tank, Devin, Tszyu, Shakur, because they're all athletic and they're all smart. Tio's a little less fundamentally sound than the other three, but he's a little more unique than the other three in some ways, in his own ways. So I love watching those four young guys and covering them. Sometimes I don't love covering them when it's hard to get my interviews with them, but I always love watching them fight. That's for damn sure. Freddie Montana said David Benavidez is scared of the light heavyweight division. Canelo ain't. Nice little touche clapback here. Nice little touche clapback for the Canelo fans there. You make a fair point. But Benavidez, he knows once he moves up from 68, you could kiss the big money fights, a lot of them goodbye. And then that's politics too, brother. I once talked to some people in the business. I said, why not let David move? Look, he's having so much problems making 68. The 68s don't want to fight him. Why don't you guys move him up to 75 and go ahead and fight Beterbiev as the WBC mandatory? And, we're not in the business of doing ESPN favors and all that, and vice versa. That's how you see ESPN, Bob Arum doing the same thing. He's not in the business of sending Beterbiev over for a Bivol fight. That's the politics of the sport. So that's another reason why he wouldn't go up to 75, is he's a PBC fighter, and 175 is dominated by Eddie Hearn with Bivol, and with Beterbiev with Bob Arum, and they don't do business together like that. And the bigger money is at 68 with Caleb Plant, who he fought in the pay-per-view, got that money, won that fight, and then of course the big one is Canelo for the belts. And then he's going to be in a pay-per-view fight against Morrell as well. So I'm with you. You could check my interviews with Benavidez. I've touched on him moving up to 75 multiple times over the years, but those are the reasons why it doesn't happen. A large part of it is politics and money. You know, what else is new? What's my prediction for the Tim and the Ocampo fight? I mean, obviously I favor Tim Tszyu. Ocampo was knocked out in one round at welterweight by a body shot by Errol Spence. Errol Spence was the man. That was before the car accident. That's when he was an absolute monster of a tank at making 147. Still is, but that was real peak Spence. So I guess no shame in that. But Tim Tszyu is a very good 154 pounder with good power, and he's got a good left hook to the body too. Although Spence knocked him out, I think, with a right hook to the body. I can't remember if, Spence is southpaw. I think it was a right hook to the body. Might have been a left hook. I'd have to chat. What did Spence end that Ocampo fight with? Was it a right hook or was it a left hand? But I got Tszyu. Now, that was 5 years ago, and Ocampo was a baby and is still very young. I liked what I saw from Ocampo in one of his recent fights. So this could be a very competitive fight. A tough Mexican going up against a guy who wants to bang, and Ocampo might say, hey, I'm comfortable in that kind of style of fighting. And he's more seasoned now than when he fought Spence, so we'll see. But I favor Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu learned some things in that Tony Harrison fight. Ooh, good left hook there by Sam Goodman. Knocks the head up of Regis Alim in round 4. But I like Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu in this fight. I think Tim Tszyu, he's gotten a big favor by Charlo sitting out this 2023 so far, because Charlo was going to beat him in January here in Vegas. But then Charlo couldn't make the date. Tim Tszyu keeps getting these fights in, and I think Tim Tszyu is only increasing his chances of pulling off the upset against Charlo by staying busy. Jesus M says, what was my scorecard for the Regis fight? I had it 115, 112, or 114, 113 for Prograis. That was my card. Sean, have you seen any aliens out there in Vegas besides Tim Bradley? That's fucked up, wasted talent. Tim Bradley is not an alien. He's a Hall of Famer. And I haven't seen any aliens, no. I think if we listen to the Bible, they're demons, right? So, haven't seen the demons or the aliens yet. Don't want to see them. I'm good. I want to see no evil. Mike T says Morrell beats Benavidez. Maybe he does. He does have the size to match Benavidez. He has the size and the physicality that Plant lacked. But like Plant, he's got some sweet feet, and he's a much more natural, not natural, he's a stronger, better puncher than Caleb Plant. Not as seasoned, not as experienced, probably not as crafty as Caleb Plant, which is 10 professional fights. This fight's coming a little too soon for David Morrell, but he has so much natural talent, and he's got the kind of footwork that could give Benavidez problems like Plant did. But unlike Plant, he's got some oomph behind those punches. Benavidez could be upset in that fight. I don't love that fight. I do love that fight, but I wish that fight was happening 2 or 3 years from now, where it could be a real pay-per-view. It'll be a pay-per-view. It'll be a fun fight. It's a great fight, but it's just happening a little too early. But it's a hell of a fight. I favor Benavidez because the timing of it. Benavidez is entering his prime, and Morrell is green. But Morrell does have some of the style to win that fight with his feet and with his athleticism, punching pop in both hands, power in both hands. Morrell's a problem. I love David Morrell as an up-and-comer. Think this fight's a little too soon for him, but I don't count him out of upsetting Benavidez either. I get it's almost Happy Father's Day on the East Coast, so Happy Father's Day there. Shout out to all my fellow fathers. My son was at a birthday today. I think I just heard them come home. I think my son's asleep. Hear my wife putting him to sleep back there. But brutal exchanges in this Regis Alim Sam Goodman fight. Both guys landing tremendous shots in this fight. I'm more paying attention to you guys in the chat and waiting for main event to start. But R30 said, I look forward to you doing these fights, man. You're the best. Thanks. Thank you, R30. I appreciate that. What about Munguia Benavidez? Asked Solo Cumbia. Do you have something against Jaime Munguia? Do you want to see him get hurt? Like, why would you want to see that fight? That would be an awful fight for Jaime Munguia. Started his career at 154. Benavidez is really a 75, sucking down to 68. He would kill Jaime Munguia. Not literally. But yeah, that would be a very ugly fight for Jaime Munguia. Did Jaime Munguia do something to you personally? Do you not like him? No? You see the Space Jams in the back, Red? Yeah. Let's see. We got some time to kill before main event time. Yes, sir. Got the... yes, sir. Let me see right here. Yeah, they're having some good exchanges out in Australia. Got the Cool Grays. And we got the Jubilee joints. So... Got a lot of others too over here. Actually, you know what? I never wear these, chat. I bought these and never wore them. But here's a blast from the past. I'm not gonna. My sneakerheads. What shoe is that? I just can't. I don't have the style to rock them. They're beautiful shoes, but I can't. I own them though. Hit. They're from '94. Surfzilla 215, thank you for the super chat. Surfzilla said that David Morrell is ahead of Berlanga for sure. Oh yeah, no question about that. Absolutely. Morrell is definitely ahead of Edgar Berlanga. Berlanga is all messed up right now. I feel for him because he's got some talent for sure. Definitely can punch. But he just looks like a guy that has lost all confidence for the time being and is just unsure of his mechanics. In baseball, they talk about that a lot. A hitter, a pitcher, he'll just lose his sense of self up there and will begin to not believe in his throwing motion, his hitting motion, his mechanics. And I see that from Berlanga right now, just so much second guessing before he does anything in there. But still, some people are saying the Ken Griffey's. Yes, the Barclays. You guys know those are the Barclays. Yep, those are the Barclays. Yes, sir. Sneaker hype, right? Let me see. Let me pull out some more sneakers. Hold on. What we got? Hold up. Let me pull out. Hold on. These are my babies right here. I gotta hold back to not wear these out. Probably my favorite 11s. The Gammas, for sure. These are probably my favorite 11s. And then... Chad, are we showing too many 11? Basically, I got like 8 pairs of the different 11s. But Berlanga will lose to Quigley. I'm not ready. Oh, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. Well, shout out to you, Philly Irish. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to the good Irish man. As you can see, I got a little Irish in me myself. Spelling me name the Gaelic way, S-E-A-N. But mostly Guinea on me mom's side. But me dad was part Irish himself. But yeah. I'm not ready to say he loses to Quigley. I don't think he loses to Quigley. I don't think he loses to Quigley. Thank you for the super chat, though, Philly Irish. And I get it, brother. You're supporting the Irish, but I don't think he loses to Quigley. Could be a competitive fight because Berlanga has been in competitive fights with guys like Steve Rolls, but I think he still has enough to take care of Quigley right now. The all-black pair is coming out later this year. Which one, Highness? On which ones? Do I got any ones? I don't have any ones. I got I got my Black Cat 4s right here. Here they are. These I have worn out a little bit. Returning. But these are my everydayers right here. Got the Black Cat 4s. This is probably my... If I had to pick one shoe to wear every day, it's these. So, yeah. But I don't want to turn this too much into sneaker hype and bore everybody in the chat. Andrew Lynch asking again, Sean, how did you score the Regis fight? Those cards were all over the place. I wasn't here for the live stream. Cards were too wide, 2 of them, Andrew Lynch, and Prograis did not look good. He fell short with his punches. He was very inaccurate, ate some straight right hands, but still did enough to win the fight. Was lucky he actually got dropped by a straight right hand in round 1, but they didn't call it. He scores a knockdown in round 3 on a big left hand. Got kept on the outside a lot, but Zorrilla didn't do enough. Prograis landed some hard body shots here and there to steal some rounds. And I had it 115, 112 Prograis. Could have seen 114, 113 Prograis as well. That's how the fight went. Zorrilla should have taken a few more chances here and there. He was accurate with his right hand at times, but didn't let it go enough. Close fight, and Prograis did enough to hold on to his belt. Mr. Quake says, Drake and Josh makes me cringe. I never was a fan of the show either, Mr. Quake. Red Sox are overrated. Yes, they are. No, they're not, actually. I hate to admit it as a Yankee fan, but the Red Sox, they've killed us the last 20 years, man. After those 4 titles in 5 years, from 96 to 2000, it ain't been the same for the Yanks. I know we won in 09, but the Red Sox have had our number since ever since they came back 3-0 on the Yankees, man. The Red Sox have had the Yankees number. I hate to say it, but it's true. What's up, Krishna Wainwright? Do I got Tszyu getting an early or a late stoppage, Sleepy? I think it goes some rounds. I don't think it's early. I think Ocampo, with the lessons he's learned in his 37 fights, still a young man at 27 years old, I think he'll make a stand tonight and be competitive. So don't be ready to shit all over Tszyu if it's a tough fight tonight. I think it might be competitive. I think Tszyu can still stop him. He's a naturally bigger man. He's heavy-handed. But I think Ocampo is going to go some rounds, and I expect Ocampo to get some good shots off, too. Let me see. What's mean-spirited and corny, Mr. Quake? Duke Micah is good and has potential. Is Charlo Canelo happening? That's what everyone's hearing. Hunter Hawthorne, yes, that's what everybody's hearing. And Showtime has Alim up 5-1. It's a very entertaining fight down there in Australia right now. Really, some brutal exchanges by both guys. Alim getting the better of it though. Alim putting on a fan-friendly fight, but he can't fight. He can't exchange like this against Inoue. He'd have to use his athleticism more, and I'm sure he would. Do you watch Disney Channel, Sean? Drake and Josh. No, I know Drake and Josh. Well, that was on Nickelodeon, right? Drake and Josh, but that was a little past my time. I was a little too old for Drake and Josh by the time that came around. And then Disney Channel, I watched the little baby shows for my son, Bluey and Dino Ranch and stuff like that. Oh, Disney Channel back then? Yeah, I watched it back then, of course. Disney Channel original movies, Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century, Smart House, all that shit. Those were bangers. Those were good. Those were good movies if you're 10 years old. Brink, Johnny Tsunami, absolutely. So they don't make them like that no more, man. They don't make them like that no more. Good times. Platboy Play says you need your own show, bro. Yeah, we got to get that going here on FightHype. I got to get that's on me. I got to stop using this cheap-ass webcam. I got to get out of this messy-ass office. And we got to add some production value to this thing. That's on me. We'll get it going. So, but we're just kicking back for this co-main event. Alim doing his thing. Goodman landed some good shots in these exchanges, too, though. And these exchanges, brutal. Guys letting go of punches with bad intentions. The opposite of what we saw Zorrilla doing against Regis. Regis wanted to exchange like that, but Zorrilla trying to do just enough to win the fight, and he wasn't just going to win the fight that way. Motocross was fire. Motocross, that wasn't the one where the girl pretended to be a guy, right? That wasn't that one, was it? I think it was, though, huh? Brad said the cheap webcam reminds me of vintage YouTube, though. I know, the good old days. Angry video game nerd days. Shit like that. Lava Lamp, Charles N. Lava Lamp, right? Charles N, that's really funny. That's actually really funny. Lava Lamp, right. That's what's keeping us from the Joe Rogan level. It's not so much that we need mics and a better webcam, Charles N. We need a lava lamp in the background. You are so right. Think big. Think lava lamp. Let me see. A. Wood said, "Yo, Sean, is Tszyu doing this for money or is he seriously retiring?" I do think part of it's a negotiation tactic. He said as much. He said that. He said, "Only way I'm coming back is if you give me a 9-figure deal." You go high, I go low. Come on, I know how it goes. So yeah, it's a negotiation tactic. I think part of it is he's just making a point. He's making a point. He's showing us his ass. He's like, "Oh no, you guys counted me out. I suck. I'm a head case. I didn't deserve the decision against Martin. I lost to Kambosos. I'm a head case. I'm this and that. I'm crazy. I'm gonna lose to Taylor. 21 out of 21 pick Josh Taylor. Some people are tweeting before the fight, I mentally shouldn't even be allowed to fight. They should pull me out of the fight. So no, y'all, y'all hate Teofimo. Y'all hate to take over. So that's what he's on, and he's like, no, I'm gone. He's making his point. He's showing us his ass because he felt like the game, the business, the fans turned their back on him. So he's saying, let me turn my back on you now and give you my ass to kiss. And then it's also a negotiation tactic. Pay me if you want to see me fight again. And then I think part of it too is he's very focused on that battle between his ex-wife now for his son. So he's just like, I don't even care about the next fight right now. My next fight, like he said, is in court with my ex-wife, and I want that custody of my child. So, but I really think it's those three things. He's given us his ass to kiss after he felt like everyone turned his back on him from the business, the fans, everybody. And then it's a negotiation tactic. And then really it's I don't even want to think about my next fight in the ring because my next fight is to get custody of Tszyu Jr. So there you go. Did I see Ramallah Ali get slept? Not yet. I got to check it out. Still. He's going to skill challenge. He going to get that dirty Saudi money, huh? You going to get that sports washing money? Going to get that Daniel Kinahan 3 degrees removed money? Well, go ahead then, goddammit. That's not. I'm not going to be the end all be all on that. Go for it, I guess. Go do you. But please don't, actually, because I want to see you fight. Actually, okay. Tszyu, go ahead and sign with Skills Challenge if Devin's going to sign with Skills Challenge too. If you guys are going to both of you sign with somewhere. Either you both sign with Top Rank and fight at 140, or you sign with Skills Challenge and I do a round by round like this, calling some fight from some network in the Middle East. We could do it like that, or we could do it in Vegas and I'll be there ringside. But let's just do it, goddammit. Let's do it with all hands on deck. K High said, can you talk more about the Alim fight if you don't mind? I don't even know if I have full clearance to do the Showtime fights like that. But I'll mention it a little bit more here. Sam Goodman getting Alim on the ropes. These guys are throwing punches with such bad intentions here in round 8. Sitting down on everything. Both guys showing good chins and a little bit of a lack of, knockout punching power. But Alim, good hand speed. Alim a little bit faster, a little bit more athletic than Sam Goodman. Goodman bleeding from that left eye. Let me tell you something as I watch Sam Goodman here, and that's it for round 8. These Aussies are tough. That kid, what was it, Liam Wilson, he hung real tough with Emmanuel Navarrete before getting stopped. He hurt Navarrete with a left hook. George Kambosos is a warrior, has shown us his warrior heart. Liam Paro's a tough kid. Maloney should have been saved from himself against Junto Nakatani on that Haney Lomachenko undercard. He wouldn't quit. These Aussies are very, very tough. Very tough. And they're only getting better. And shout out to the Australian boxing community. The Australians, very cool people, and their fighters are fighting with a lot of heart these days. Fighting very game. So, let me see here. Mr. Quake saying, Sean, I remember HSM Motocross, That's So Raven, Kim Possible on Disney Channel. Yeah. What was the Even Stevens? I didn't like it at first, but then Shia LaBeouf started to get into his own as that show went on. You began to see his talent, and he went on to become a good actor. Even Stevens was funny. That was good on Disney Channel back in the day. Never got into the Proud Family. It was just boring. I would try to watch it. The best part of that show was the theme song by Destiny's Child. I'd sing along, be into it, and then it would lose me. So that Maloney KO was brutal. He should have been saved by that. David Spatty Jr. said nothing impressive by Alim. Yeah, he's getting touched here by Goodman too in the 9th, and Showtime has this fight evening up a little bit. 5 rounds to 3 for Alim, who was up 5 rounds to 1 on the Showtime card, but Goodman continues to walk through Alim's best shots, and based on what you're seeing, Alim wouldn't have enough to keep Inoue off of him, and I don't think he's a better boxer than Stephen Fulton. Him and Tapales, that's a good fight. But from what I'm seeing from Alim, he's not as good a boxer as Stephen Fulton. He's athletic like Fulton. He's got some speed like Fulton. He's got good feet, but he's not as skilled as Stephen Fulton and not as sharp. And then against Inoue, man, he can't keep Goodman off of him. I don't think he'd be able to keep it. Although Goodman's a bigger guy than Inoue. Goodman looks big in there at 122. He looks bigger than Alim. And Goodman having a decent round in the 9th, eating some shots though, but staying on top of Alim, walking through whatever he's got to walk through. Alim having a better 9th round right here, though. 52 body shots landed for Regis Alim to just 18 for Goodman. And I got a quick super chat. Fulton versus Inoue will go like Winky versus Mosley. Interesting comparison of styles. Two different styles. But do you mean that, Inoue being Mosley will hit a wall fighting a man just too big who's a very good boxer, like Winky Wright? Because Winky Wright didn't move around as much as Stephen Fulton, didn't counterpunch as much. Winky Wright got off first behind that jab, stepped to you, blocked and smothered anything you tried to hit him with. Best high guard I ever seen in my life. And underrated body puncher, underrated work rate, underrated pressure behind one of the best jabs I ever seen from Winky Wright. So different styles. And then Shane Mosley is explosive like Inoue. I think what you're saying is Inoue is going to be like Mosley. He's this incredible puncher, incredible athlete, incredible explosive specimen, moving up, fighting a very skilled guy who's naturally bigger, who's going to shut him down. I think that's what you're getting at. That could very well be the case. I just think stylistically those fights are very different. Mosley was a very planted guy, imposed his size in that way on Shane, kind of walked through him. Whereas Fulton's going to be fighting more off the back foot, I think. I think Fulton, he's from Philly. He's going to take his spots to hold his ground. But I think Fulton's going to look to really counterpunch Inoue. Fulton might very well win that fight because Inoue is very explosive, but he leaves his chin up when he explodes into his shots sometimes. Inoue loves to touch with that jab, kind of like Pacquiao. Pacquiao would get that explosive lower half behind him, feint, and then launch off the 1-2. Feint, boom, boom. And Inoue, when he lets that jab go to launch into the right hand, he picks his chin up when he does it a little bit. And I have a feeling Fulton might get a beat on that, might get a timing on that, and start checking that chin in the air repeatedly and work himself into a rhythm. And if he gets into that rhythm and he picks up on Inoue's explosiveness when he steps in and starts to time him with counter shots, it could be a long night for Inoue. He could even get his ears boxed off in that fight. That could really happen. I could visualize it. I'm picking Inoue, but I could easily see that happening. Every time I watch, Itachi says, "I love you, Daddy Sean." It's a little awkward, but thank you, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know. But yeah. So that kind of threw me off what I was saying. So, oh yeah, Fulton Inoue. Flip said Fulton ain't winning that one. Voltron, yeah, Voltron. I remember when my pops back in Brooklyn, R.I.P. to my pops, couldn't get me the Megazord, couldn't get me the OG Megazord, so he got me something else. He got me Voltron, and I was like, this is awesome. This is basically the same thing. So, yeah, I messed with some Voltron. Stan Lee made an anime one. What, an anime Voltron? I remember seeing the cartoon sometimes. Back to the Zorrilla fight. IFFYSD said first knockdown should have counted. Referee hated him. First knockdown should have counted in that fight. I agree. What's my top 3 boxers to watch? Tough call. I like Benavidez and Boots because they're two guys I haven't seen get their opportunities. Benavidez finally did with Plant. I really like Benavidez and Boots because I think they're two dynamic fighters with elite level talent but exciting crowd pleasing styles. So Benavidez and Boots are 2 of the 3 guys I really want to see get some opportunities. I'm trying to think. Who would I put there at number 3? Who would I put there at number 3? One of the lightweights. These aren't the top 3 guys to watch, but the top 3 guys that deserve to fight on the biggest stage and I think would produce some exciting results. Boots, Benavidez, maybe a guy like Frank Martin. Keyshawn is still young, but when he gets there, I'm really looking forward to Keyshawn fighting the T.O.s, the Devins, the Tanks. I'm looking forward to Keyshawn getting up there. I'd like to see Frank get a shot at these 35s. He's not going to. It's too high risk, too low reward. Morrell, Morrell will get a shot against Benavidez, it looks like, in October. We'll see. Thundercats. I do remember Thundercat. Actually, I remember what were them cats that would be in the... Is that no, that's not Thundercats. What about the cats back in the day who'd be in that airplane? They'd be in those fighter jets. War Cats, I think that was called. I remember that War Cats, John. I remember that. But Goodman and Regis Alim are into the 10th round. 10th round wrapping up, and they're heading into the 11th now, going back to their corners. Let me see what my wife's doing, man. Let me see if wifey wants to watch this Tszyu fight when it's main event time with us. This isn't the most official round by round ever. We're kind of just chilling, wrapping up, watching the Showtime fights. Let me hit her up. You know, I'm gonna call my wife right here on the stream. See if she wants to kick it with us tonight in the chat. SWAT Cats. That was it. SWAT Cats. SWAT Cats. Yeah, that was good. SWAT Cat. Yeah. You guys picked up on that right away. Jared Anderson, Superbad versus Yoka needs to happen, I think. Oh, you talking about Sinisa Estrada against Yoka something Valle? Was Yocasta Valle? Is that her last name, right? Yocasta Valle. That's what you mean by Yoka. Yeah, Yocasta Valle against Estrada. That's a good fight. They got to make that fight. Oh, yeah. You guys keep asking if I saw Ramallah Ali get slept. Let me look it up. Let's take a look at this. Actually, I'll take a look at it right here on my desktop so I don't have to divert my eyes. Let's check this out. So you said Ramallah Ali got slept. Let's see. Oh, shit, Bill Haney. Oh, let's check out this Bill Haney in a second, chat. Hold up. Ooh, my lord. I just seen the screenshot of it. Let me see this again. Ooh, she got flattened. They were really trying to sell her with, like, that $1 million baby swag. Like you know, Britain's sweetheart. She got flattened. Man, that girl was fucked up. That girl was all cut up and everything. Oh, left hook. She landed that left hook in between Ramallah Ali's punches. Ramallah Ali's not a puncher. Got flattened by that left hook. Where was that girl from? Let me look this up. And then let's check out this Bill Haney reaction to the Prograis fight. Let me see. Where was this girl from? Tough Latina girl. Mexico. I thought so. Mexico. Britain. Stop. I know Warrington, or not Warrington. I know who did that? Lee Wood. I know Lee Wood got his revenge against Mauricio Lara, but for the most part, stop sending Mexicans to Britain. If you want to hold on to your O's and your belts and all your momentum, I would recommend Lee Wood. Shout out to Lee Wood. He got that rematch done. But for the most part, it turns out pretty ugly for the Brits when Mexicans go over there to fight. I'm just saying. Kendrick Perkins was in the house. Damn. All right, let's check this out, chat. Hold up. Let me share with you some FightHype coverage hot off the presses. Actually, I don't even have audio. Hold on, I need some audio. Let me get some headphones, chat. Or chat, I can't hear this video, but maybe you guys could just listen to it for me. Hold on. Sound settings. Okay, good. Here we go, we're good. Be quiet, Showtime. Cállate. Showtime, stop. Okay, I gotta turn you off. Alright, here we go. Let's check this out, chat. Let's see what Bill Haney thought about the Regis Prograis fight. Hot off the presses for FightHype.com. I don't know who's down there for us tonight. It might be Aaron.
Let us know what you think, Bill. How did this fight go?
Is that Aaron?
I mean, it's amazing crowd.
Or is that 210?
You know what I mean? I have mixed emotions about the performance. I think Regis, he didn't do his best. He didn't do his best.
No, he didn't. Did you think he did enough, though, Bill?
What can I say, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Is that going to 140?
Look like, from what I saw right now, it looked like he wouldn't have a problem.
Got you. Is this going to be his next opponent, Regis Prograis?
I came here to look. I came here to look at it. You know, if everything makes sense, then, you know what I mean, Devin will make the decision. But like I said, you know, let him enjoy his victory. We'll go back and we'll talk about it and see what we come up with.
Quick question for you. About a couple weeks ago, Tszyu won that belt. He relinquished it. Do you think he stays retired? What do you think? Is Tszyu a potential future opponent?
I don't think he's supposed to. I don't think he's retired. From what I'm hearing is that he has to send over a formal request to the sanctioning body, and you know what I mean, and then they'll go from there.
Do we potentially see Devin versus somebody other than Prograis, like maybe a Tszyu, maybe a Raleigh, if Tszyu comes back, of course, or potentially Raleigh in the future?
I mean, anything is possible right now. You know, it's not my job to announce it right now. It's my job to come and take a look, and I don't see Devin having any problems.
Last question for you.
Okay. Kevin Garcia. Okay, shout out to you, Kevin, for doing your thing down there in Texas tonight. Let's see what else happened here. Okay, so that was Bill's reaction. Well, let's see what Roy had to say.
Kevin Garcia with FightHype.com, and we got the man himself, Olympic medalist, multi-divisional champion, commentator extraordinaire, Roy Jones Jr. How you feeling?
I'm good, but how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Roy. You know, I know you're here to see the Prograis fight, and we'll make this quick. We will not take too much of your time, but I want to get some quick hot topic questions for you. First one, Spence Crawford. Who you got? How?
I like Spence. I mean, I like Crawford, but they're both good fighters. They're big fighters. Okay? Yeah, good shit. It's a great fight. Both fighters are good fighters. I know more about Crawford because he was fighting at HBO when I was commentating, so of course I know better.
Right.
I've seen him do more things, but Spence is a very formidable opponent. So it depends on who's on that night. My gut feeling, because I've seen more of the losing for Crawford, but it's a great fight. And if everybody is losing, that's good for us, then we'll be Spence.
Dino Saucers?
Take the fight at 140. Where should he fight?
He should fight at 140 unless it's a real good money fight. Real good money fight, he should go to 35.
Who should he fight next?
Tough fight, he can fight Devin at 35, or he can fight Shakur at 35. But I think he deserves one of them. Fight somebody first, finish time, and he got all kind of shit. Then fight one of those big guys. Particularly, I think he should fight Shakur because Shakur is coming from 130. And they're all going to be hard to him, but
He might have a side advantage.
well, he won't have that advantage, but he'll be close.
Be close. No doubt. Teofimo, 2 weeks ago, he wins the WBO, he retires, he relinquishes the belt. Are you buying it, Roy?
Well, I mean, you don't know. Teofimo goes through a lot of things.
Funny, Tio did a little Roy Jones reference in the middle of that Josh Taylor fight with the way he touched his heel and then threw his right hand. Tio's from South Florida too, like Roy, so. I mean, he's from Brooklyn, but really South Florida as well.
No doubt. Do we see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua this year?
I hope so. It'll be a great fight.
Well, yeah, okay, so that was Roy's reaction. Shout out to Kev down there getting us some stuff, some good stuff. Let's see this real quick. But I got a quick super chat I got to get to. Hold up. Let me get back here. Super chat to get to. Dino Saucers. I vaguely remember Dino Saucers. It's there in my mind's eye from the 90s. Surfzilla 215. Thank you for the super chat. And then Platboy Plays says, where do you rank Gary Antoine Russell at 140? Thank you for the super chat. I think Gary Antoine is, probably outside of the guys coming up from 35 with the big names that at any moment could come up like Tank or Devin, I think that him along with Brandon Lee, they're the top guys that are the contenders for those belts that deserve a chance. Brandon Lee and Gary Antoine Russell. Brandon Lee punches harder than Gary Antoine Russell, but I think Gary Antoine Russell is a little bit tougher, a little bit better conditioned. Comes from a little bit better pedigree with his brothers in his ear, but I like Brandon Lee's punching power. So I like Gary Antoine Russell. I think he's a tough fight for anybody. I think it's going to be tough for him to get one of those guys in the ring. He might want to go after Subriel Matias, who I doubt Rolly's going to want to fight. So, even though I think Rolly could beat Subriel Matias, but Rolly, wants big money, big names, stuff like that. I think Gary Antoine could beat Matias. I like Gary Antoine a lot. Still got some things to work on. He's always short with his jab, kind of like Regis Prograis was tonight, but he comes in behind that jab to apply pressure. He's athletic. I see some Sean Porter and Gary Antoine, and I think at 140, compared to Sean at 47, I think he punches harder than Sean. But I think he's got some of Sean in him, that he's got a great work rate. He's tough. He's a little. His arms are kind of short, but he comes in behind a double jab. I like Gary Antoine Russell. So, Tszyu or Regis, who do you have and why? I got Tszyu, younger, a little quicker in the exchanges, but Regis, I think, might punch. Power's pretty close. Regis is a natural 140. He's a little more heavy-handed than Tszyu. Regis is a little more heavy-handed than Tszyu. He punches a little harder, but I think Tio's younger, little quicker, a little quicker all around. Not just quicker hands, but just quicker with all his different movements. And I think he could. I think he's a sharpshoot, Regis Prograis, who gets a little wide, a little wild on some of his bombs when he's opening up. And Tszyu can sharpshoot in between those bombs a little bit. I would favor Lopez in that fight. That would be a hell of a fight. And I do think they're the two best belt holders. I know Tszyu actually vacated the WBO, but let's pretend he still has it. They're the top two at 140. Is Prograis and Teofimo. And then 3 and 4 is Rolly and Matias. The Tim fight still ain't happened yet. Breakdown Matias. I like Matias. He's fun to watch, but he did lose to Ananian. He avenged that loss. No real defense. Very leaky defense. And I know he almost always scores a knockout, but he's not a one-punch knockout artist. He's an accumulation guy who actually throws a lot of arm punches, but he's heavy-handed. So even without getting his lower half into it, he's hurting these guys, beating them up and stopping them. But Matias has a very leaky defense, and even though he gets a lot of knockouts, he's an accumulation puncher. He's not a one-punch guy, and has been beaten before, showed the improvements to win that rematch. I think a guy like Rolly, being a better athlete than him and having harder power, one-punch power, I think he could upset Matias in a fight most experts would favor Matias in. But guys like Matias are great for boxing, man. He's never in a bad fight. He's fun to watch. Is Alim going to get this decision in Australia? This looks close. No, he doesn't. Oof. Obviously I wasn't watching this fight closely. The times I was, it looked like Alim was getting the better of it, but Sam Goodman gets a split decision at home. That's what sucks about fighting on the road, man. If it's close, it's probably going to go to the other guy. They're going nuts in Australia. Fireworks going off, everyone jumping. I hurt for Rais Alim, man, because he's a very nice guy that I've covered out here in Vegas for years. He was passed up for title shots for a few years, and now he loses a tough, close fight, a split decision in the other guy's home country. Sam Goodman is turning up talking crazy. I don't know, he's yelling something. Oh, that's tough for Alim, man, because if Alim could have won this fight and then got to the Tapales fight, won that fight, he might have been in the position to fight an Inoue fight if Inoue could get past Fulton, but it's all up in smoke now for Alim. Tough. That's what happens when you're an eternal B-side in this sport, in this business sometimes. Sometimes you got to go on the road, unfavorable conditions, and the other guy cut over his left eye, gets the benefit of the doubt. Sam Goodman gets the win. Tough for Rais Alim. Tough. David Spotty Jr. said, I kept saying he didn't look good. It wasn't as close as you think. Well, David, you were keeping tabs on that fight throughout in the chat. I saw you, David. I was more paying attention to the chat. Didn't really pay too much attention to the fight when I tuned in, especially early. Alim was landing that left hook a lot, but he was eating a lot of shots too. Very entertaining fight. Boston says, Sean, I did not like that decision at all. Alim was missing a lot, says M.A. Joel Falconer says, send a message to Wet Nappy, scared by Charlo, go Tim. You got it. Why do these fighters go to Australia? Well, in Alim's case, you see those fans going nuts for Sam Goodman. These Aussies can sell some tickets at home. Alim can't sell any tickets here in Vegas. You know, he doesn't have a name, so he's got to take the B side, go overseas. He had to win this fight to become Tapales' mandatory. That's why he's over there fighting this guy. The Aussies can sell tickets. Man, it's tough for Ice Alim. I feel for him. These guys like Alim that you know aren't making great money and you know can't afford any missteps, you feel for them when they lose something like this. Man, those body shots were clean and often for multiple rounds, says Boston's. Eddie Hearn says he just found out Teofimo did not actually vacate the WBO. Where did he say that, Gerard? Did he say that here on FightHype? He might have said it here on FightHype. Let me refresh. I don't see any Eddie on the channel yet, but I probably will very soon. Let me see what they're saying on Twitter. Let's check Twitter real quick. Let's see if they're let's see what the opinion on Twitter was on Prograis Zorrilla. Let's check it out. Let me do this. Hashtag Prograis Zorrilla. I'm just curious what the scores were tonight. I totally agree with Lazy Lefty. I don't want to hear no Zorrilla was robbed. He ain't fighting to beat the champ in his hometown. Like, Zorrilla won from Sergio Mora. Let me see. Very surprised I went all 12. Let me see some scorecards, people. What did you have it? Nothing. I'm not seeing too many scorecards here. 78-73 Prograis after 8 by a guy I know and respect, Miguel Maravilla. I'm not seeing too much on scorecards. Here, let me see. Score card. Nah. Boxing is history. Had it 114-113 for Zorrilla, but yeah, nothing really there to pick from. Anyway, thought Prograis won the fight. In the ring, post-fight interview after Regis interview, Eddie said that. Oh, Eddie said that? Okay. Oscar had some words for Eddie, and I'm sure he did. And Oscar got a lawsuit. I told you guys on the live. Who on the live remembers me telling you guys all about this Lupe Valencia, Oscar De La Hoya stuff? Even before that fight was signed between Ryan and Tank, I told you guys that would come to a head and that was going on behind the scenes between Oscar and Lupe. So I'm not surprised at all that they're going to be in court now. And I even told you guys that Oscar might find himself in court one day against Ryan and Lupe because they keep trying to backdoor De La Hoya. They keep trying to make their own deals that go against the promotional agreement in the interest of Golden Boy. There's two sides to every story. For Ryan Garcia, he wants to make the biggest money possible, and those big money fights like Tank, like Rolly, are on PBC. But his promoter is tied to Network DAZN. I don't know about how much contractually they are, but that's where their loyalty's tied to, just like PBC's loyalty is tied to Showtime. And Lupe Valencia, who I've heard is an ardent supporter of Al Heyman. I remember when Jesse Vargas kept saying, my advisor, Lupe Valencia, and my ears went, oh, okay, this guy's an Al Heyman wannabe. He's trying to steal that swag from Al and implement it for himself. And then sure enough, Tank points over at him and goes, isn't that the guy always talking to Al on the phone when they were talking about having a mole in Ryan's camp? So now they're trying to use their to backdoor De La Hoya again. Part of me understands Ryan because it's the biggest money possible, but then part of me understands De La Hoya, which is, look, you got to trust the process. I told you weren't ready for that Tank fight. That's why you got knocked out. You didn't need to take that rehydration clause. You had more leverage than you realized. They were desperate to make that fight with you because they wanted to make that fight with you and not a Shakur, not a Devin. They wanted to pick on you because you were an easy mark. And the least you could have done was come into that fight hydrated at a full, healthy 140 pounds. But Lupe kept telling you, you're not going to get the fight if you do that. You're not going to get the fight if you do that. And Oscar's saying, bullshit. You know, first of all, that fight's not going anywhere. You're 24 years old and marketable. Have a title fight. Fight a Linares. Fight a Jojo Diaz. Fight Hesta. Fight some guys that'll give you some seasoning. Like Devin had his process. He fought Gamboa. He fought Linares. He fought Jojo Diaz. Then he fought Kambosos. Now he's seasoned and ready for that elite level against a Lomachenko. Ryan wanted that big money, and that's his prerogative. I mean, nothing's guaranteed in this life. You know, Tank could get hit by a car the next day. Ryan could get hit by a car, and then that $15 million payday's up in smoke. So Ryan wanted it now while it was in front of him. But Oscar knew he there was no way he was going to win that fight. He wasn't going to win that fight at 140. He damn sure wasn't going to win that at 136. So they're having it out. It's ugly. I think De La Hoya should have kept it real before the fight about him thinking Ryan couldn't. I know, it's your fighter. How could you say he's not going to win the fight? And you could be in court for disparagement, like they're trying to have him in court. But I feel like if De La Hoya would have kept it real about all his feelings before the fight, it would have aged well, and more people would have understand. In the moment, they would have said, "How dare you? You don't have Ryan's back." Blah 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 blah. And afterwards, they would have understand where he was coming from. Instead, it was the opposite. On fight week, he phony had Ryan's back. You know, Tank's team doesn't believe in him. We're going to win this fight. And then after the fact, he's got to walk it back and look like a hypocrite. He should have just kept it real. But it's not easy. It's not easy. It's an ugly situation. King says Tszyu got the Disney contract. Maybe. That's why Tszyu, from day one, has pandered to Disney and has had an ambition to cut out the middleman at Top Rank. He wants to work directly with Disney. And Tszyu, I remember before he had the Lomachenko fight, told me Disney was heavily invested in him. It was Disney's decision to once send Max Kellerman down to talk to him, not Top Ranks, and that he had spoken to Bob Iger and the suits at ESPN and Disney. So, you know, we'll see. So Oscar fell into Team Tank's trap as well, since Oscar had to sign off on that. No. See, Ghost 304, Oscar was backdoored by Lupe. If Oscar didn't sign off on the fight, he'd get tied up in court for holding his fighter back from a career high purse. You know, that kind of stuff can get you caught up in court. And Lupe's a very good lawyer. So Oscar had his hands tied. He had to let Ryan take the fight, even though he didn't want him to take the fight. Oscar didn't want to enrich his adversaries in this business. He didn't want to enrich Steven Espinoza, Al Heyman, and PBC. He knew his kid was going to lose that fight. But if he stood in the way of that kid earning $15 million, he was going to get tied up in court. And as it turns out, he's going to get tied up in court anyways. He filed the lawsuit, but he's going to get tied up in court for disparagement. They're going to counter with that. I mean, I'm not a fucking lawyer. That's in over my head. But I knew this was coming. I knew these parties were going to end up in court one day, pretty much. So, you guys that follow the lives, you guys knew I saw this coming too. Did the Tszyu fight yet start? Not yet. We're just kicking back. They're in studio, still talking Mauro Ranallo and the Showtime team, and we're just waiting for this Tszyu fight to start. But, let me see. Ryan blaming Oscar is lame. It is lame. It was all his idea. You know, he wanted it. So... Daniel Villafuerte, what's up, brother? What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Red said Sean Stradamus. Red, you remember, you were in those chats before Ryan and Tank. You remember me talking about all this shit. Now it comes to pass. So I thought he got 20 million. So I don't know the exact numbers. I just know he made at least 15 million, if not more. I know he made about that much money. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I know after pay-per-view and everything, both guys got well over 8 figures. Well into the 8 figures. why did Ryan hire a PBC advisor boxing analyst? Because he's naive, and Lupe Valencia probably whispered a lot of sweet nothings into his ear, and Lupe said, I can facilitate that big fight you want. I'm cool with Al and them. I can make that happen. If you want that fight, Ryan? You want to make it happen? Oscar doesn't want. Oscar doesn't want you to shine. Oscar's a fucking coked out hater. He doesn't want you to do business with them and to make your career high payday and da-da-da-da. Fuck him. We'll make this fight happen. We'll get it. Just say the word. And they made it. So I'm putting a lot of words in people's mouths, but I got a good feeling about what I'm talking about. My intuition. Charlo should take that Andrade fight before Canelo. Yeah, but same reason why Ryan jumped into the Tank fight. That big money, that 8 figures comes across your table, and you take it. Is pretty much how that goes. So yeah. No, thank you, Fallon Brown. Appreciate that. Ghost304 said, you could feel the bad energy between Ryan and Oscar months before. They've never been on a good page, because from Oscar's... Look, Oscar will never say this, but I could read between the lines. Oscar, from his vantage point, is looking at this kid like... I'm going to keep it real. He's looking at him like, you're a fucking punk and a pain in the fucking ass. Because when I was your age, I had to get bent over... You didn't like your deal? I was getting raped out of money by Bob Arum when I was a 21-year-old coming out of the Olympics in 92. I was making good money, but I earned it. I was an Olympian. Fuck being an Olympian. I won the gold medal. So, of course, I made some money coming out. And I fought for a title fight in my 9th fight against Jimmy Breedall. I fought in a unification against Rafael Ruelas when I was a puppy. And I unified at lightweight. You haven't even been in a title fight, and you're here pulling out of fights. You're here wanting you want more money. You're holding me up for more money. Man, when I was your age, I just wanted to be great. I got in there. I fought Breedall. I fought Rafael Ruelas. I fought Julio Cesar Chavez. I fought him at 23, 24 years old, and won handily. Knocked him out. By your age, I had already knocked out a legend in a huge pay-per-view fight at Caesar's Palace. So, kid, stop haggling me for this and that. Fight, get in there and fight, be great. Trust the process. Win a title fight, win a second title fight a former champion, knock him out. You want to go from fighting Luke Campbell and Fortuna to fighting Tank. That'd be like Oscar saying, nah, I'm not gonna fight Ruelas, nah, I'm not gonna fight Julio Cesar Chavez, I'm gonna fight no title fights, and then I'm gonna fight Felix Trinidad. How do you think that would have went for De La Hoya? He still wound up losing, even though most of us thought he won or at least got a draw. But that's what it is from Oscar. I think Oscar and from Ryan's vantage point, it's you're this coked up weirdo who's never really loved me, never really thrown your full love and support behind me, your belief. I almost look like Ryan wouldn't say this, but I almost look like your fucking son, and. I'm fast, Mexican from Southern California. You were fast, good looking from Southern California. We should be rocking together like this, and I'm not really feeling the love, Oscar. And the reason why is because Oscar, I don't think, respected him. I don't think Oscar respects the new generation of pay me, gimme, but you haven't done anything yet. And on top of that, I'm this Hall of Famer, this Mexican legend, Chicano legend, and you're gonna drag my name through the mud in the media? So that's just how I read into it. That's how I read into it, covering this stuff up close. So Gerard said, thank you, Sean, for everything. Your boxing knowledge and spirit is well appreciated. You deserve nothing but success and money for your boxing knowledge. Thanks. Thank you, guys. That's just me breaking it down. So Carlos Ocampo is in the ring now. Carlos Ocampo is in the ring. The challenger is in the ring. And let's see. Oh, my wife's saying, did you call me? I did. Come watch the fight with me if Leo's asleep. Come watch the fight with me if Leo is asleep. But yeah. Ocampo's in the ring. And again, that's Oscar talking about Ryan through what I feel is Oscar's lens. That's not me saying all those things about Ryan at all. Oscar is an all-time great, no doubt about it. I think a little of it is a generational thing, myself included, man. I'm a little lazy. I'm a little sensitive, you know. If you talk to me a certain way, I'll ask you why, you know. Whereas back in the day, men talk to men like that, especially in the workplace. You know, hey, pass me a fucking thing, boom. You know, like that's just how it went. So it's a little bit of a generational disconnect too. And I'm not just gonna point the finger at Ryan. I'm 7 years older, but I'm a millennial. He's a Gen Z or a Zoomer. You know, a lot of us are a little softer than generations past. That's why Ryan fell out with Canelo. Canelo's old school from Mexico. You know, stop your bitching and work. You got to put in some work. Mexicans from Mexico are hard workers, and he didn't respect that lack of work ethic from Ryan. Part of it was a generational disconnect. Ryan didn't take the tough love. And I think Oscar and Bernard want to show him some tough love. And he can't. Now Oscar and Bernard, they did themselves wrong by not going to the post-fight. I know they had their reasons. I talked to Bernard about it afterwards, but, you know, I think they were salty. You know, we never wanted you to take this fight. Now we got to go see Leonard Ellerby and them and live down this humiliation of our kid getting knocked out, and we got taken to the cleaners. Nah, we don't even. It hurts enough. We don't even want to show up. But you got to take that L, you know. So, drama. But so now here comes Tszyu coming to the ring, his black robe. Tszyu coming to the ring, fired up. Another sold out crowd in that same arena. It looks like where he stopped Tony Harrison a couple months back. Tszyu looking more comfortable at this level. What song is he coming out to? Real quick, let me hear this song that he's coming out to.
You gotta fight more, but a lot of these fighters, you know, taking months, years off, and then they come back.
Not gonna risk copyright and leave it on long enough, but I don't know. Good analysis of the situation, Sean. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Boxing analyst said, "Bring Samantha over." I'm trying. I don't know if she's still putting Leo to sleep. I want her to come. Mr. Quake said, "I'm too soft too, but I understand." Yeah, you get it, man. It's our new generation, man. We grew up a little different than they did back in the day. Not all of us. Now, I'm sure some of the people our generation, tough as nails, grew up tough, grew up with tough conditions and hardened them. You know, I mean, we all have our adversities in life. All right, tail of the tape, Ocampo. The bigger man on paper, despite being the welterweight moving up. Ocampo with a 2.5-inch reach advantage and an 2.5-inch height advantage, I believe. So Ocampo on paper, the bigger man, the taller man with longer arms, moving up from welterweight. Tszyu, not a big guy. Kind of like, he's bigger than Brian Castano, but kind of like Brian Castano in that he's a full-fledged 154-pound guy in terms of strength and in terms of, you know, the thickness to his body, but not a tall guy. Kind of a short guy for the weight class is Tszyu. T says, "Hey Sean, do you think Canelo feels that David doesn't deserve the fight with him?" I mean, that might be part of his spin on it. I just think he doesn't want to get in the ring with him next. He'd prefer fighting Charlo after 2 years off. That's simple. Sean, is Ocampo a tomato can? Not a tomato can. No. He came out to 50, King. What song did he come out to from 50? Just curious. I had to be from the Get Rich or Die Trying album, right? Or did he come out to something after that? So both guys are in the ring now. Ocampo and Tszyu warmed up, ready to start round one. I still don't know how much trouble I can get into for doing this with Showtime. So we're just gonna chill, more or less call the action. I can't go full on blow for blow, blow by blow commentary. But we're gonna finesse this. We're gonna finesse this watch party here for Tszyu and Ocampo. We're gonna finesse it. Let me see. I see some photos of Spence and Crawford. Let's take a look at that real quick while Jimmy Lennon is doing his thing. My man Ryan Hafey got some photos of Spence and Crawford recently. Let's take a look. All right. Spence with some new tats. Let's take a look. Crawford, a little more cut up, but he's the smaller guy. Spence, not as cut up, but bigger. Definitely the bigger guy. Chat, what do you think? First of all, Spence with the new tattoo, but chat, what do you think of Spence right here? Is he Is he 6 weeks out, a little thick for your liking, or no, looking like the bigger, stronger welterweight, nice and comfortable, going to come down and then rehydrate, and that'll be a big advantage against Crawford, or does he look a little big for 6 weeks out? I'm on the fence a little bit. I'm on the fence. What do you guys think of Spence right here, chat? He came out to end the club. Surprise! It's not really a walkout song, but. Spence stopping Bud in 8. I don't think so, North B more. Or NB more. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see July 29th. It took him more rounds than that to stop Ugas, who stands right in front of you. Doesn't have the defense or the counterpunching ability of Crawford. Maybe Spence comes in 1,000,000% for the biggest fight, brings the best version we've seen of him, and he does stop him in 8 rounds. I don't think so. We'll see. Highness says he's looking big. Ghost 304 said he's in great shape, best shape of his career from those pictures. Mr. Quake is cool, brother. That's what makes us good, brother. That sensitivity. Let's see. He's going to be the same size he was when he was fighting Bundu, David Spotty. Yeah, he was a monster around that time. Lamont Peterson, Ocampo. That's when Spence was rehydrating beautifully at 147 and looking like an absolute tank. So if we see, that's the Spence we want to see on July 29th, is that tank that rehydrates into the monster form. And he looked a lot more like that against Ugas, because even against Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, Spencer looked a little more light in the ass compared to being that big, heavy 147-pound tank. But against Ugas, he looked back to being a tank. All right, round 1, Ocampo and Tszyu from Australia. And Tszyu putting the pressure on as expected with that high guard. We're going to finesse this blow by blow a little bit. We're going to finesse it. Ocampo starting with that jab to the body, gets his left hook blocked. Maybe I just can't help myself. Left hook lands for Tszyu, and then a straight right hand. 2-punch combination in the first 30 seconds. Knock Ocampo's head up for Tszyu. Tszyu, nice sharp jab right there, too. Tszyu coming forward, catching the jab of Ocampo. Hard 1-2 for Tszyu, and Ocampo's hurt. Left hook, and Ocampo is badly hurt in the center of the ring. Sweeping right hand hurts Ocampo, too. Tszyu looking for the first round knockout to equal Errol Spence. Ocampo's legs not underneath him. He's hurt. Ocampo eats a straight right hand. Ocampo opening up wide. Not good form and hand speed by Ocampo here as he opens up wide to try to keep Tszyu off him. Straight right hand drops Ocampo. Beautiful power punching display by Tszyu in round 1. Beautiful power punching by Tszyu. Sharp, accurate. The straight right hand put Ocampo down. Ocampo's up, but Tszyu is trying. He might be doing what Spence did. First round knockout might be coming. Ocampo looks buzzed. Straight right hand. Another straight right hand. Ocampo is badly hurt. Left hook. Down goes Ocampo, and the ref calls it. That's it. Easiest round by round I've ever done in my life. Tszyu drops him twice. Once with the straight right hand. Once with the left hook. Huge knockout. Beautiful first round knockout by Tszyu. Bring on the Charlo fight, man. Tszyu, he would have lost in January, but beating Tony Harrison, knocking out Ocampo in a round. Tszyu looked phenomenal in that one round. He looked sharp, explosive, compact with his punching power. Great technique, great explosiveness and power with both hands. Straight right hand on the first knockdown, left hook on the knockout. Beautiful highlight reel knockout by Tszyu. Ocampo didn't look like he belonged. Someone asked me before this started, is Ocampo a tomato can? Obviously at 35-2 heading into this fight, not a tomato can, but at this level, he looked like a tomato can. At this level, he opened up real wide and slow, and Tszyu was so much sharper and powerful and compact. Beautiful knockout by Tszyu. That Charlo fight is closing in on 50-50 because Charlo is entering into his mid-30s. He hasn't fought for over a year. And I'm saying it right now, I don't think we see Tszyu Charlo next. I'm saying it right now. You could clip this. I think Charlo's going to fight Brian Mendoza next to defend the WBC mandatory, and I think he's gonna vacate the WBO to Tszyu before September 30th. I don't think Charlo, coming off a year-plus layoff, I don't think his team is going to say, let's get right back in there with Tszyu, who's looking very good right now. I think they'll want to get a fight in between, And I think they'll fight Mendoza, who's a very good 154 pounder, but not as dangerous, not as good in my opinion as Tszyu. Still good, still a good 54, knocked out Fundora. But I think that Charlo and his team are going to say, let's not get in there with Tszyu after a year-plus layoff. Let's give up the WBO strap. We'll still have 3 out of 4. Let's do the WBC mandatory with Mendoza. Easy fight to make on PBC. Mendoza has momentum after knocking out Fundora. I have a feeling Charlo's going to want to, and his team at least, if not Charlo, is going to want to knock the ring rust off against Mendoza, and then we'll see Tszyu versus Charlo, which went from an 80-20, kind of fight for Charlo if they were going to fight in January to it's closing in on closer to 60-40, 55-45 for Charlo. Still got to be the favorite for Charlo with he's bigger, he's more athletic. He can fight both ways. He can be a knockout artist on the front foot, or he could walk you into devastating power shots on the back foot. So Charlo's still the favorite. He's that great boxer puncher, that undisputed champ. But Tszyu is just continuing to close the gap with every performance and by staying busy while Charlo's inactive. Let me get to that super chat now. Let me see here. Super chat from my man, Big Offner. Good to see you, Big Offner. What's it say? Looks like his dad versus Zab. Looks like his dad versus Zab. Yeah, he's got some of his dad in him. He's an excellent pressure fighter, and he throws his power shots very compact and sharp. That's what Tony Harrison said after Tszyu stopped him, that he's very sharp. He's sharp. And we saw that tonight. Very sharp power punching display by Tszyu, getting that first round knockout. And he does it off the headshot instead of the body shot like Spence. I don't really prefer either one. First round knockout's a first round knockout. But Tszyu, he keeps pace with Errol Spence. He equals him. Good stuff. James Brown says extremely knowledgeable. Thank you, brother. Boxing analyst said, Sean, you said he wasn't a tomato can. Okay, boxing analyst, he's not. He's 35-3. But at this level, relatively speaking, maybe he is a little bit of a tomato can. So, see some Charlo ducks in the chat. Breaking news, Charlo just broke 4 of his legs and is out years after watching the fight. No, they're going to get that in. Charlo and Tszyu are going to get it in, but I just have a feeling Charlo's going to fight Mendoza first. Tszyu's a height job? Disagree. He's the real deal. He's very good. I don't know if he'll beat Charlo. He might. He's very good. Charlo's the favorite. Charlo's the more versatile fighter, little more athletically gifted, little bigger too at 6 foot versus 5'8", 5'9". But Tszyu is younger and coming into his own and more active. So we shall see. Let me hear what he said. All right. Sean, throwing shots like that, does it come from a lack of respect of Ocampo's power? Yeah, he didn't show any respect to Ocampo. He knew he was a welterweight moving up, knew he had been stopped before, and Ocampo was going to have to get his respect. And Ocampo, early on, tried to exchange with Tszyu, tough Mexican kid, thinking, let's see how this Aussie likes mixing it up with his style against a Mexican. And it turns out he had plenty of bombs in him. And Tszyu was very impressive. Minute and a half, took him out. That was very impressive by Tszyu. Let me try and hear what he's saying here without us getting any copyright issues. One moment here. Let me listen to what he's saying. Hold on. Let's hear what he says. Hold on. Tszyu said, hurry up, get your hand healed. I did it quicker than your boy Spence. Tszyu, chip off the old block. Charlo kills Timmy. Charlo stops Tszyu. Look, Charlo's the favorite. Charlo by stoppage. Charlo's the favorite, man, but if he were to fight Tszyu next, coming off a year and a half of ring rust, I don't know. All right, chat, but that's about it. Anything else we want to talk about, chat? Or It's been a long night. I don't know if we should get some Undisputed in tonight. I'm a little beat. I don't wanna be caught slipping. A little tired from the round by rounds tonight, and then catch a L on Undisputed. But I don't know what you think, chat. Remember, it's about your opposition. Absolutely. I mean, he was in with Ocampo and with a faded Tony Harrison. So just because he stopped Ocampo and Tony Harrison doesn't mean he's going to beat Charlo. But he's closing that gap, and he looked better. And even in the 90 seconds I saw him tonight, he looked better from the Tony Harrison fight. He looked more comfortable fighting on a stage like that. I mean, he's at home against an overmatched guy, but I liked what I saw from Tszyu. He's better now than when he fought Terrell Goucher and got dropped. I didn't discuss Tupac. That's true. Again, happy birthday to Pac. Machiavelli album's the best one. It's not the most perfect one. All Eyes on Me got more quantity than the Machiavelli album. Me Against the World, maybe a little bit more consistent album, but no one got an album like the Machiavelli Don Illuminati album. That album's insane. So let me see. I take Tim over Charlo. Ring rust is real, says Danny. See you later, Mr. Quake. See you later, Mr. Quake. Good one, brother. Enjoy them Disney Channel classics, brother. Thanks for hanging out all night, brother. Much love. Ocampo should never fight again, says Joe Dirt. What's up, Joe Dirt? Haven't seen you in the chat in a minute. Yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. And, maybe we'll check back in tomorrow with some Charlo Canelo news or something. We'll check back in, play some Undisputed, but yeah, we'll call it a night. I feel like Jesus Ramos whoops Tim. I don't think so. That's a hell of a. Ramos is still young, a little wet behind the ears, but Ramos is very good. Right now, he's a little too green for Tszyu. Two different points in their career. Not saying it wouldn't be a competitive fight, but I got Tszyu right now against Ramos. Who would I favor, Spence versus GGG at 60? I mean, GGG is basically retired, and Spence has never fought at 60, so a little bit of an awkward matchup to think about. I don't really have an opinion on that one. So, all right, chat. I think we'll call it a day. Peace out, Joe Dirt. Let me see. Buenos nachos, Emilio Beltran. Good to see you, Emilio. See you later, brother. Ortiz Stanionis next. Yeah, I got Ortiz in that fight, Highness. Thank you, always, Highness, for hanging out. Yeah, I got Ortiz. Better jab. Great double jab, power jab by Ortiz. Better jab than Stanionis. I think he hits a little harder than Stanionis. I think he's a little bigger than Stanionis. But that's going to be a very fun fight to watch. Tim is extremely relaxed and he hits really hard. That's what I saw from him tonight, James Brown. That's what I saw from him tonight. Peace out, boxing analyst. Peace out, Lok Tapu. No doubt. Cheers to you as well. Krishna Wainwright. Did Franchon Cruz DAZN fight tonight? She did not fight tonight. We'll call that fight. I'm looking forward to that fight with Savannah Marshall. To be honest, I favor the Brit in that fight over the Yankee. I give the edge to Marshall over Franchon Cruz DAZN. I think Cruz DAZN is going to have a tough time keeping Marshall off of her and keeping the power off of her. She's not as athletic and not as great a boxer as Clarissa. So she's going to get caught into more of even more exchanges. Actually, Clarissa was in a lot of exchanges. She just outpunched her 3, 4, 5 to 1, getting off with her speed and swimming without getting wet. But there's only one Clarissa Shields. I actually favor Marshall to beat Cruz DAZN. Damn, thank you for the super chat, C. Will. I'm happy I stayed on and blabbed long enough to get that super chat. Thank you so much, C. Will. I appreciate it, brother. Happy you hung out. Thank you for the super chat, man. Shout out to you, C. Will. I wish you had a question for me so I could give you your money's worth, but thank you, brother. Daniel Villafuerte, Tszyu versus Haney. I touched on that earlier. I give the edge to Haney. Those guys that move and keep it on the outside, keep it long, they give Tszyu more problems than the guys like than Taylor and Lomachenko that come and try to press him. Tio's at his best as a counterpuncher. When he's got to cut distance against a guy with feet and a jab like Haney, he doesn't pick his hands up. He still tries to fight the way he does in the center of the ring, picking guys off, sharpshooting them, going forward. And he's got to make some adjustments learning how to cut the ring off, learning how to cut distance responsibly, because he tries to do it with the lead hand still down, and I don't believe that's the way to do it. So I would have to favor Haney, because but if Tszyu, because Lomachenko was a southpaw, tougher to get the jab off against the southpaw for Haney. That's Haney's best punch, and then Loma keeps his hands up and presses forward. Tszyu keeps his hands down and is more of a counterpuncher. But if he could make some adjustments and force the exchanges like Loma did against Haney, although Haney was willing to exchange a lot, then he could win some of those exchanges against Haney and hurt him. But Haney's going to make him earn that every exchange. He's going to dictate behind the jab, and I think Haney would keep it on the outside and win a decision. But I would love to see that fight. Tim versus Danny Garcia could be fight of the year. Yeah, but I'd give the edge to Tim. Danny's seen better days. He's a little guy. His power doesn't translate to 54 like it did at 140. It would be a fun fight, but Tszyu would beat him. And I think Erislandy Lara is gonna beat him when they fight. Motherfucker's in the chat. I ain't seen motherfucker in a couple chats. It's good to see you, motherfucker. Where you been? Tim clips guys now with those sharp quick shots like Costa. Yes, he does. Well said. Let's see here. No, Krishna Wainwright, she did not fight tonight. No, did not fight tonight. Franchon, we'll get to her fight. What's her fight again? Her fight date? Let me see. Cruz. I'm telling you though, I got Marshall in that fight. I know she's the challenger. I know Cruz deserves the champion. Her only L was to Clarissa, but something tells me she's not gonna be able to keep Marshall off of her, and she's not gonna be able to keep her equal her punching power. So I think that Cruz is gonna lose that fight. July 1st they fight. Okay, so 2 weeks. We'll call that fight in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we'll call that fight. And you guys tune in right here. Next week, Saturday, I don't know if I'll be doing a round by round because it's my son's birthday party. And I'll be having a lot of people over. Oh, there it is. Spence Crawford up on the Chiron from Showtime. It's official. That new photo shoot we were just looking at. The pictures are up. Spence with the 3 belts. Crawford with the WBO. Spence Crawford. Saturday, July 29th. But yeah, I think the J-Rock Adames fight, you guys might miss me that night because it's my son's birthday party. We'll probably kick it, but I'll be back on the next day probably to recap it, Z-cap it. Thanks, Name says I'm really manic depressive. Hey, best of luck with that, brother. A lot of great people have dealt with that and still found a way to do some great things in their lives. So shout out to you for that. Thanks, Name, and best of luck with that for sure. But let's see. Krishna Wainwright said, ooh, you're right. Cruz swings too wild. She does. And she's not the puncher that Marshall is. And Marshall's a big, country, strong girl. Tall girl at those weight classes. I favor Marshall. But alright, guys. We'll call it a night. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in tonight on Fight Hype Live. Thank you, Tszyu, for giving me the easiest round by round I ever had to call in my life. Everyone have a great one. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Daniel Villafuerte, shout out. Shout out to all my fathers in there. Shout out to all the ladies in the chat. Always, thank you as always. And God bless everybody. We got J-Rock and Adames next week. We'll do a live, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, to really go over Canelo and Charlo potentially coming next. Sounds like it is. And we'll keep it locked in here on Fight Hype Live, man. Shout out to David Garcia down in Texas. Getting us some footage, us looking at that. Shout out to BT for setting up the live, of course, the boss man. And much love, everybody. Have a great one. Where did I get those light up gloves in the background? My wife got me that, and it actually came, she had to order it from Russia, I think. So just look up red neon gloves. But much love, everybody, and hope to see everybody real soon. Peace out. I guess I'll...